You're watching the Belmar Pro, stop number 5 on the Western Atlantic Pro Surf Series. Go to westernatlanticsurf.com for more information on the East Coast and Caribbean's only pro surfing tour.
My name is Ben Grave. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Longport, New Jersey. This will be my third year surfing the Belmar Pro. I've been pretty busy hitting my friends in the nuts. I consider myself an underdog. I used to make a lot of finals and contests when I was little, but ever since I got a little bit older, I got pretty fat, but I've been working out. I lost 12 pounds, and hopefully it works to my advantage. I think an advantage for me would be if there was actually some sizable surf. I seem to do better when there's actually waves. Winning the Belmar Pro this year for me would mean probably a lot more followers on Instagram, @BenGravy.
Now we've got this Masters quarterfinals number 2. In red, we have 4-time ISA world champion Juan Ashton from Puerto Rico. He's in black. We have from New Smyrna, Ernie Peebles. Local Brian Dalton is in yellow, and Mark Sarge is in gray.
Let's let's welcome Mr. Dewar into the booth here.
We are privileged to have Scotty Dewar with us to help call a little bit. Scotty, for those of you that don't know, Manasquan local, ripper from a long time. There's Juan Ashton up, catching a couple of these. Wow, slaps a few.
The momentum and the speed that Juan Ashton can make.
Yeah, he looks ready to roll.
So Scotty, welcome. Those of you who don't remember Scotty was one of the first Surfer Magazine pro guys from New Jersey quite a ways back, had many sponsors, still is the man at Manasquan at times.
So Scott, tell us of the guys who are here in the Masters, which guys have you surfed with and competed against before?
Well, Matt Keenan's a little bit, he's probably more towards 36, so he's a little bit
yeah, Matt's 37.
Under my age group.
Right. But so Matt would be about the youngest.
Dean, I've been up surfing some heats with him.
Didn't surf with Juan when you spent time in Puerto Rico?
I don't know if I did. He might be.
Ernie Peebles.
If he was, I'm trying to think who I did surf with from Puerto Rico. Obviously Edwin Santos and a couple other guys from there.
How about some of the?
Spent a lot of time with Eric Penny out in Puerto Rico, but.
How about some of these Hawaiians who are surfing here? Did you surf with them back in the 70s?
Yeah,
the Grog, Seaside Pros and stuff like that.
Buttons,
here you go. Talk into this.
When I saw Buttons, I had surfed with him in the late 70s in Hawaii, and actually the guy that he rode for, Ben Ipa, I surfed with in Australia in 1980. We actually paddled out together at like 10-foot burley heads.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Ben was getting up there in age at that point, but still obviously able to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Up there in age is relative, Scotty.
Yes, I'm trying to think that way, Doc. It's not easy.
We got Juan Ashton in the lead right now. He's with a 5.0 and a 4.30 total combo of 9.37.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Looks like Brian Dalton.
Brian Dalton.
There, right? Let's see.
I'm sure you've surfed a bit with Dalton, and you kind of right up the road here, Manasquan and Belmar.
Yeah, it's funny though. You know, we all kind of keep to our own areas. You know, I know who Brian is, but you know, I really don't spend a lot of time in Belmar, and you know, I reckon he doesn't come to Manasquan too much. But nice guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice fella. Here we go. Look at that.
There goes Juan Ashton again.
Yeah, well, like we said, Juan Ashton has 4 ISA World Masters titles. So
Juan had an amazing heat in Nicaragua this year against Sonny Garcia. For those who got a chance to watch that, it was, I believe, the finals or the semifinals.
Well, I think this is the first year he was in the Grandmasters, and he got 3rd, and this is the first year he didn't take first. He took a couple years in Masters.
Brian Dalton,
Grandmasters,
pushing it hard.
Right.
You can see the difference between the juniors and the Masters on these waves.
Yeah, you got to imagine, these Masters obviously a little bit older.
A little bit older.
A little bit bigger. It takes a little bit more of a wave to get them down the line, but they're making it happen. You also got to figure Brian Dalton was probably pulling pints last night till late in the night at the columns. He was working and supporting a family. So for him so he's got to get out here this morning and shake that off. I'm sure his back feels like a 2x4 by the end of a night of bartending.
Right.
He's going to come out here, and he did really well in the longboard event 2 years ago. We had some really big surf.
And he's in the longboard event here as well.
Beach was out there.
Looks like Ernie's paddling for a wave.
Hopefully he's got a new one, because he broke his other board in half the other day.
Oh yeah.
The amateur, yeah. The waves were pretty.
That was
good.
last week, right?
Yeah,
right.
Pretty good.
Surfers are kind of spreading out, as is this swell. Mark Sysom keeps telling us that things are going to move a little bit further south, and it appears that they are.
Well, right now, the situation in the water looks like Juan Ashton has a considerable lead with that 9.37. Erie Peebles has a 5.0. Brian Dalton has the 3.5, and Mark Sarge. We've yet to see him. Is he out there? Do we have a white in the water? Okay, we don't.
Juan just got a 6.33 on his last wave.
Heat. This is the second 3-person heat that we had. Adam Holloway was supposed to surf.
In
heat 1 and took a look at the waves, and
here goes Ernie.
I was talking to him out on the beach. I'm like, "Come on, Adam, you
Ernie
got this
Peebles."
thing, man.
I should have went in. You would have went in if I did. He's a good surfer.
He is a real good surfer, but he saw that he had Jeff Myers and Dean Randazzo. I think it is.
Heat.
That's a tough heat.
Jeff Myers, he's from Carolina, right?
Well, Juan Ashton with
he's I think originally Virginia Beach, but back and forth between Hatteras, and that lives in Kill Devil Hills. Yeah,
good surfer.
Yeah, real good surfer.
Goofy Fry.
Oh, here we got it. Looks like we have a set coming in. Got 2 surfers. We got Juan over on the south end, not going for it.
That wave looks like it's probably going to shut down after. Oh, that's
Brian Dalton. We've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in this heat. Right now we have Juan Ashton in the lead with a pretty sizable lead right now. He's got an 11.40. Ernie Peebles with a 5.0. Erie, I assume, is riding his own board. Not sure what kind of board Juan's riding. And Brian Dalton in 3rd place.
Juan Ashton is, I think he's an electric and a Volcom rep, so he rides for both of those companies. Also rides for Coors Light, and still competes in some of those Corona events down in Puerto Rico. He's won, numerous. He's won men's, junior men's, boys, go all the way back through his history. Been Puerto Rican champ in all of those.
We were speaking earlier about Steve Fitzpatrick's book. There's quite a few pictures of Juan in Steve's book.
I surfed a contest at Hobos, and Mark Fu ended up winning it. I think I might have gotten 3rd in it, but that was like a long time ago. I'm trying to think who the guys were that were in it. I can't even. I'd have to think a bit.
Right. Well, what year was that? What year do you think that was?
God, that was like early '80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Dalton paddles for a wave.
You probably would have had Juan Ashton.
I would think that was probably Juan.
Yeah, I know. There was another fella from Puerto Rico that's
Edwin?
Not Edwin. thin kid, tall guy.
Taurus? Oscar? Otto Flores.
No, this is going back a ways.
We just had Ferrara surf that last heat. He's another former Puerto Rican national champ.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't that big a crew of them back at that point, back in those days. You know, there was a San Juan group, and there was an Isabella group, and a group from, you guys from Rincon.
There's an interesting Facebook page called Aviones Boys, which is like looking at the history of Puerto Rican surfing.
Yeah.
Some great shots, both old shots, and you get to take a look at what the countryside looked like back in the day as well.
Right. Pretty wild. I went back to Rincon and broke into a cold sweat coming in.
Thank you, buddy.
It's changed a lot.
Oh yeah. It's changed a lot, but I love it. There goes Juan. Juan's paddling for this wave. He gets up on it, gets a little off the top. Another one, 2 snaps, goes for a third little.
So that's why Juan Ashton pretty much looks like he has the field. Yeah, he's got the field comboed right now. Have you seen? We're seeing the tide drop out a little bit. I feel like the surf kind of peaked maybe an hour and a half ago, and now the tide's dropping out. It's making it a little bit tougher. What are you seeing there, Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, the line's pretty long too. I think we're going to see a swell come up when the tide comes back.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit, maybe.
I mean, if we stay with this northwest wind and a little bit of tide coming up and a little bit more water out there on the sandbar, we could be in for a really good afternoon, and then tomorrow could be really fantastic for a day for the finals.
Definitely looks like it could be for sure.
Looks like Juan's got a little inside section here, paddling for it.
He's got something inside. There's definitely a little bit of action out the back right now.
Looks like Brian Dalton paddling for a wave. Nope.
Yeah, it's tough here with the tide so low. You know, it's really.
Erie Peebles. You can see how much sand was in the face of that wave. It kind of indicates just how low this tide is at this point. We're pretty much at dead low now, so potentially we'll see a little bit of change as this tide starts to fill in. We're just about down to the end of this heat. We've got a minute and 10 left. Juan Ashton is still sizably in the lead. Erie Peebles is second. Brian Dalton third.
That was Robert Ferrer in that last heat. I don't know if that was the other Puerto Rican contingent that you were talking about from that Hobos, but surfed really well.
Goes Juan.
In that heat.
Juan Ashton.
Watching Ashton again, man. Ashton is just killing
Juan
it
is
right
pretty much got this heat under wraps.
But we did have Dean Randazzo and Jeff Myers in that last heat who are going to advance now to the Masters semifinal. And we kind of probably could have predicted that. I mean, when I look down this thing here, I got to say that, Matt Keenan, probably a real good chance. He's going to surf against Buttons later on.
Absolutely.
Who else we got here? We got Reno Avalero. And I would say Brian Hewitson is a pretty good chance for going into that semifinal. Brian Hewitson from Florida, of course, he was 2004 Fosters Belmar champ here. That was started with some big south swell that year, and then as the weekend went on, the swell kind of dropped, and by the last day, it was just kind of wind chop. Everyone was surfing over there on that south jetty. Dean Randazzo was in that final. I think somebody from Europe as well. As we're watching Brian Dalton there.
And that was the end of that heat. I don't think that...
From the start to the finish that year, Brian Hewitson, when the surf was big, south swell at the beginning on Thursday, he was killing it right to the end when it became kind of a chess match. And, that guy, for his size and his ability to surf powerfully, he can surf small waves very well.
Yeah. Well, that Florida surf will do it,
Yeah, he once told me that, he said, you'd be surprised in the summer. He's like, almost every day at Sebastian Inlet, there's something.
Right.
There's at least a reason to get out there.
Right. And it's like anything, you get used to whatever, Mother Nature's throwing at you.
Okay,
we're
teeing up the second heat, and in this...
That's Jack Murphy in the yellow. This is heat 3.
This is heat 3
of the quarterfinals for the Masters.
In red, Reno Abalera. Reno, who made a name for himself in the 1968 World Contest in Puerto Rico.
1968.
1968. 1968. Reno was riding a board for that contest that was kind of thin and kind of narrow compared to what everyone else was riding. Fred Hemmings won that contest in what was somewhat controversial, and that was really the era of the transition. Reno's in great shape, and he's surfing in this heat. Jack Murphy and
Reno
Chris
here.
Devoy. There goes Reno, taking off on a low wave. Reno also
If
shaping.
you're watching, that is, a surfing legend right there. That is a worldwide surfing legend.
Reno rode boards shaped by Dick Brewer earlier on. Reno started surfing when he was 9 at Queens, and he's been quite the surfer, quite the legend.
He looks
Quite.
pretty Hawaiian.
He was born in 1950.
There you go.
So
He learned to surf. He learned to surf when he was 4, and at age 16 he won the juniors in Makaha.
do we know
and-
anything about Chris Devoy?
I don't know.
We don't know Chris Devoy. Maybe if anybody has any information on Chris, he might have been a later entry. We also have Jack Murphy in the water.
He's a Jersey.
Jack Murphy's a Monmouth County guy. I know he spent some time. He's been part of that SRH brand for a long time. Spent some time out in California, and this is Jack Murphy up and riding now.
There's Reno
that's
paddling for a wave. Reno's
High
up.
wave and
Reno's
making it
got.
happen.
Look at
There's
Reno. Look at Reno off the
Damn.
top. In 1966, Reno won $200 in a contest in Makaha, and some would say that makes him the first professional surfer. 1966.
That's a lot of money in 1956.
That's funny.
Reno also surfed in waves that were quite different than today. In the 1974 Smirnoff Pro, when Waimea was 25 foot, Reno surfed in that event. And in the finals, it was Reno and Jeff Hackman. And it's quite
I
a.
saw a patented shot of him from that contest. It was just a killer shot. On Facebook, all the guys just on there from that. It's funny,
Yeah.
Well,
Big wave.
it's interesting. It's interesting listening to Rabbit Bartholomew talk about that contest, and they were all kind of glad that it was Mark Richards, who was the guy of the 3 who could afford the entry fee to go out,
Right.
because they were kind of afraid to go out there.
So, Sky, do you watch any of the Masters events? They're kind of making a little bit of a comeback. I know Billabong did the Clash of the Legends when they had OcuSurf against Curran, and it's kind of cool to watch these guys who are legends from the 70s and 80s, and watch them compete again in the International Surfing Association. They just ran the World Masters in Nicaragua. Do you watch those webcasts?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him, and obviously I was disappointed I didn't get to go in this. I hurt myself about a week ago, and wasn't. I'm not up to form to go out and surf right now. So, but I'm looking forward to 2 and 1.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of hoping this weekend was going to be it for me to go out, but I'm watching my daughter instead.
Well, we got Reno paddling for a set in the middle here. Looks like Reno's gonna.
Can we get a shot of Reno down
No,
there?
Reno didn't make it.
But at this age, you really gotta go at it to get in shape.
Speak for yourself, old man.
Good, but good on you. It's great that you guys are.
You got to give
guys are
someone
doing
like
that.
Reno credit when you realize that Reno started surfing in the longboard era, and here he is today competing in a contemporary shortboard, and he's actually shaping his own
Right.
boards as well.
Well, you can see that Reno. I don't really know Reno, but just talking to him.
Reno's up, little inside barrel. Look at that. Reno finds a barrel.
He was pretty.
That was a little tube.
Pretty keen on. You can see he was keen on getting in the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Jack Murphy off the top. That was kind of crazy. If we could get a replay on Reno's little barrel section, that would be.
Chris Devoy there.
I think Reno will move up in the ratings on that one. Right now we've got Jack Murphy in the lead with a 5.17. Reno is second with a 1.63, but his score has yet to drop from that second wave. There goes Jack
Murphy.
again.
A little bit of face there in front of him.
Little foam climb, going for that inside section.
It looks like Murphy's pretty.
Oh, Reno's wave dropped at a 4.17, so Reno is now back in the lead, leading Jack Murphy who's got a 5.17. Nobody has reached that magic number of 5, which seems to be the big wave for you.
So, Scotty, you did mention that your daughter surfed this morning. How did that go?
It went well for her.
We saw that she advanced.
Yeah, I was happy for her because she's doing soccer this year, and she hasn't been in the water as much as I know she normally is. So I was really happy to see her do well. She had a couple good waves right off the bat that helped her. I hope the waves come up for her a little bit tomorrow because she's good in surf.
Yeah. It looks like there's a white in the water. We had 3 surfers in the water. I don't know where this white came from, but he's got 13 and a half minutes. Hey,
Scott Goodwin.
Maybe if somebody could let us know.
It says Scott Goodwin on
the. Is it Scott Goodwin?
There's black. That's what I think it is.
Is that Goodwin? Can you?
No.
That's Chris.
That's Chris DeVoy.
We're gonna need
is the whites? That is Scott Goodwin.
Yeah, baby.
Tell you what, he's some commentator.
No, here goes. Looks like Reno sees a wave.
He went to my high school.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Reno's got another little shoulder here. Look at this. Look at this. Reno finds another wave, flying down the line, off the top.
So I guess what happened was we had a 3-man heat, and Scott Goodwin, who we're watching right now,
not catching a wave.
Hey, I'm tired of commentating.
Think I'll go surf.
Jersey and grab a spot.
Think I'll go surf for a heat. We're down to 12 minutes and 30 seconds in this heat.
This is Scott Goodwin's 9th year announcing this contest, and this is the first time we've ever seen him get his mustache.
Well, we got a split in the peak here. We split the peak between Chris DeVoy and Jack Murphy on that one. Looks like a set's coming on the horizon there. There goes Goodwin trying to paddle into one. He's up. There's Goodwin with a nice fall off. At least Scott's out there.
Well, I know there are some.
There's a lot of people laughing.
Former ESA competitors who are definitely going to be watching this heat to see Scott Goodwin.
There goes Jack Murphy again.
Probably 15 or 20 years, Central New Jersey. CNJ Mutants.
Oh, our next heat in white. I can see him walking down the beach. Buttons, Kelly O'Kalani, and his board caddy, Jerry Matthews. Buttons will be in white in the next heat. We've got 11 minutes and 30 seconds left. Reno Abulero's in first place with a 7.34. Chris DeVoy in second with a 5.43. Close on his heels is Jack Murphy with a 5.3. And Scotty Goodwin caught a wave.
You guys know Jerry Matthews. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He lives up here now. He's
originally from Lock Harbor, originally.
Yes, okay.
I think the mayor of Lock Harbor is here with us, so he can tell you.
Former mayor, no longer even a resident. West Allenhurst in Rincon, Puerto Rico now. Yeah, Jerry was a Lock Harbor boy. Jerry was teasing the other day when Reno first came and Buttons. Jerry remembered he had just gotten his driver's license and he was driving me to the airport on a trip to Hawaii. And he was all excited. That was the closest he's ever been to Hawaii at that day. He got to drive me to the airport.
And there is Scott Goodwin sitting out the back waiting for something.
Looks like a set in the middle. I think Reno sees it.
Goodwin's only got one wave, but that's probably because he came into the heat about 9 minutes in, 10 minutes in.
We got a little inside one. Black is up. Little top turn. Another one off the top.
That's
trying to find some speed. Chris doesn't find it. Looks like Reno and Jack. Jack looks like he's going to paddle for this wave. He's got a little... No, he backs off.
Black's still in it. Is it black?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still in it. Not
This
far
is,
behind Jack
we're back in the place where one good wave wins this heat.
Yeah, it's tight.
And that's been the story all morning long. You score something in the high threes, If you can get something over 5, you're going to win. And if you can get 2 scores over 5, you're definitely going to win. We've got a couple surfers paddling for this peak over on the north side here. Little paddle battle.
Jack Murphy.
Jack Murphy doesn't quite get it, but Scott Goodwin was called off on that.
Goodwin, out of the picture there.
Looks like Reno sees a set over on the south end.
And they just gave Goodwin.
Little Scotty's own medicine there.
A little bit of interference there.
There goes Reno paddling for a wave. He's got it. He's got a little speed section. Doesn't quite make anything out of it.
It looks like Murphy looking for a little situation there. He's in second. Well,
Chris DeVoy's now moved into first place with a 7.37. He got a
in second. We saw
Reno's in second. Reno's in second by 0.4 of a point. Chris DeVoy has a 5.0 and a 2.37.
Here goes Black.
DeVoy, your heat leader, he was quiet,
Oh.
kind of a dark horse. We don't know too much about him. Quiet in the first couple of minutes, but now he's
No,
leading the heat.
he's really leading the heat.
Reno back up to second.
Comes a nice left.
Looks like there's a couple coming on that left now. Maybe Scotty Goodwin will catch a wave. Doesn't look like it. Yellow's up.
Murph.
Off the little float that section.
That's tough with that.
You know that these guys are just wishing it was a little bit bigger.
You know, even at this size, if there was a few more open lines, you know, the tide is just getting so low at this point that, you know, it's really hard to get more than 1 or 2 pumps and then just kind of put the board up on the lip and hope you come down with it.
Be interesting to know what kind of boards these guys are riding in these heats. I imagine they're pretty wide and pretty flat.
Reno's riding his own board that he shaped.
I think it's a quad, actually.
And I actually talked to Murphy earlier about what he was going to ride, and he was thinking about going with a board he had never ridden before, a brand new board, just to, you know, have something to compensate for these small waves. Going to go a little bit wider and a little bit thicker. I'm not really sure what he went with. Goodwin, I imagine, is on a borrowed board that he just grabbed on his way
I
to
would
the
think.
water.
I would think. 7 minutes left in this heat. Still plenty of time for everybody but Scott Goodwin.
I've been riding a pill in little waves. It's been going real well.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
It is nice that we have, you know, in 2012, we have the option on small waves to ride something that can be a performance board. You know, you know, for the past 15 or 20 years, you've always had the option to get on some kind of retro board with a fat tail, but you're always kind of surfing on your front foot, and it's fun for small waves. But you really, you know, when you do get a little speed, you really can't do much of a turn. But now
Everybody's up. Jack Murphy's got a nice little section, floats it, and that's about all he can get.
Of that, the fish, and they, you know, the wide point forward. They've taken the rocker out. You know, the boards are a little bit thinner than the traditional fish. And
Cheers.
Really, you know, you can performance surfing, and they fit
Cheers.
the pocket so much better. You can get, you know, more turns on a wave.
It's minimized my longboard riding quite a bit.
Right.
Because,
Right. You don't need to go to
unless
the
it's
longboard.
really small, I'm not
Sure.
longboarding, you know, I'm sure which is good, you know. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are those of us that have always liked the boards with the wide point forward. That's always been one of my favorites when it's, you know, generally the waves around here.
Yeah, they just, but I mean, those wide point forwards and those fat tails, they get a little tough in the winter when we do have, you know, critical waves. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have a little more paddle speed when we have those hard offshore winds, but they don't always fit in a wave face as well when it's, you know. over
Oh,
4
Scott
foot,
Goodwin
fairly
is up,
critical.
and he's down.
pills really, they have like the pulled nose, you know.
We got
Infinity, you know, and that one spot on it really brings the speed up.
Right.
5 minutes left. First place is still a coin toss. Actually, this whole first place in this heat is still a coin toss.
Really, there's a point separating first and third right now, so it's not going to take. It's not going to take much to change.
And as has been the case all day long, if you can score a little bit over a 5.
under 5 minutes remaining in the next heat, we're going to have Matt Keenan, Buttons, Ronnie Jackson, and Paul Gibbons. Do we know anything about Mr. Gibbons?
There's Reno up. Nice little speed run.
I just know Buttons. You know, when I was a kid, I saw Buttons off the wall, and he was riding behind a Howie. And he was in front of a Howie.
I'm just wondering, we got to get our cameraman on the...
And then he does a 360 around the Howie and comes behind him.
Well, Buttons was doing things back then that no one could dream of.
Yeah, I mean, people weren't doing too many carbine 360s being done then.
You know, when you watch some of those old movies and see the moves that Buttons was
There's Buttons in our screen there on the bottom right. Looks like
right,
Buttons riding something definitely a little bit wider.
It's a quad, flat.
Tail.
Yeah, I surfed with him with that the other day. It's a flat quad.
No rocker.
You know, if you could find a more Hawaiian guy than Reno, it probably would be Buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, Scotty Goodwin.
Yeah.
Scotty Goodwin with a head dip. Jack Murphy, and there's Devoy again. Tried the little tail slide, didn't quite make it.
I went to Makaha with John Kerr when we were young, and Johnny was up there writing an article on it. And I thought they were going to make a stew out of us.
We've got a real horse race here with 3 minutes. With 3 minutes left, we have a real horse race here.
Like, you're going to put my picture in there, bro? You'll be right in the cover.
Look at those scores. 7.53 for first place right now. 7.34 for third place. We got quite a battle going on.
Have to do something to separate this, and we saw Yellow up and riding.
I mean, I'm not a judge, but I thought Reno was winning this heat. But I guess it's pretty tight.
Just
I'm
watching what's happening. It's not. He's got.
Oh, it looks like here comes a set in the middle. Look at this larger set. Let's see who pulls this one off. Looks like we've got Yellow up. Nope. Nobody. We're down to 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh, Scott Goodwin trying again and not catching the wave. We are in one of the... Jack Murphy's just moved ahead with his last wave.
It's wedding season, man. She's shooting weddings.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah. Wedding season in September, and she goes right through the summer, but September is when things really heat up. So busy business right now. Yeah. Some bride and groom are getting some nice photos. Yesterday as well.
I got married when it was raining outside.
Yeah, Jack.
You surf the next day.
Jack Murphy just moved into first place with that wave.
He's 2,500 years old.
So Jack is clearly ahead now by over a point. We're down in the 1 minute range, but we're still at the one wave makes this heat.
And Murphy's out the back looking for a situation. Goodwin's still sitting off to the north there by himself.
Murphy's winning this heat, right?
Yeah,
Murphy is winning, yeah.
Cool.
Reno's in third. Chris Devoy's in second place.
Oh, come on, I gotta give Reno some,
I think here comes the wave right in the middle. Hold on. We got 30 seconds left, and we got Reno.
I would say he's going to really have
we got Reno paddling for it.
Beat this one out, but if he can do it.
Let's see. Let's see. Reno paddles.
See if he
He's
can
up.
That thing. There he goes.
Oh, just off the top. That's that. Didn't quite pull that one off.
We're down to about 15 seconds left.
Well, unfortunately for the legend, it looks like Reno is not going to advance on this.
And wait a minute. He's 0.03 points out of second place. So.
Well, it's going to be a close one on that.
Things have happened, right?
End of that heat, it looks like clearly we got Jack Murphy in first place. Second place depends upon what Reno that last wave. And now we've got our next heat in the water.
And we're
going to take a quick break here and go to a little commercial, and we will be right back with the next heat. They didn't interview Juan, did they? Ashton. We didn't get Ashton up here.
I'm trying to think of that fellow.
Hi, I'm Annabelle Anderson and I'm a professional stand-up paddler and surfer. And Surfers Environmental Alliance is working hard to keep our oceans safe and clean. Support the cause and get involved. Visit our website at www.seasurfer.org and make a difference today.
We're back at heat number 4, men Masters quarterfinals with.
That was Matt Keenan on the little air attempt on the inside there.
In white, we have Hawaiian legend Buttons Kaliokukalai and Paul Gibbons in black. It's in second place. Matt Keenan in red in third place, and trophy maker Ronnie Jackson is in fourth place right now. We're in yellow.
This is Matt Keenan's first time in a Masters event. He's 37 years old. Generally, the Masters start at 35. And he was up here to do the pro. He was actually a little undecided whether he was going to do it this year or not. And then he said his wife kind of talked him into it to do the pro. And he's, Matt's going to the main event in the pro. He surfed really well this morning. He's been in the finals twice here in Belmar, the inaugural event here in 2002, and then again in, I believe, 2007 in some really small surf. So Keenan's got a whole lot of history here, and pretty heavy favorite right now. But during the break, we saw Buttons get that great little racy ride there. He's on a little bit wider board. I think he's riding the quad.
They only gave him a 1.5 on that wave.
I remember Matt when he was a little kid at the inlet. He came over there frothing.
Oh, here goes Buttons. Buttons. There goes Buttons.
Into this wave.
Look at this. Look at this flying down the line.
And there's Keenan.
Keenan on the other end of that. So we split the peak on that one between Keenan's and Buttons, and then we have
we really have we have
Paul
basically
Gibbons. This is a
New Jersey pro surfer against a Hawaiian legend, kind of going head to head right now. It's pretty cool.
Well, you forgot Paul Gibbons is in the middle here.
Yep.
Now we've got some scores. Actually, Matt Keenan just scored on that one. He's ahead, 7.60. Buttons in second place. Paul Goodwin in third. Ronnie Jackson bringing up the rear.
What those few years of youth will do, That's still, definitely has a young look to him.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
well, Buttons is old enough to be Matt's grandfather. Buttons actually has 7.
Let's say great uncle.
Buttons has 7 grandchildren. Here in Heat 4 of the Masters, Matt Keenan is still in the lead with an 11.60, followed up by Buttons, which is a 7.93.
Matty just had a nice ride.
Yeah, and then following right behind him was Ronnie Jackson, who's a Monmouth County local. He has done the trophy. He carves it out of a surfboard every year for the Belmar Pro for the last couple of years. Carvin Art, I believe, is the name of it.
Carvin Art. Pretty incredible what Ronnie is able to do with recycled surfboards.
Yeah.
Actually, Ronnie also does some nice painting on surfboards. As we have had all day long, these heats are very close, although Matt Keenan is pulled ahead by a larger score than almost anyone as of late. Matt's got a 13.10, Buttons with a 7.93, Pat 3.97, Ronnie with a 0.87.
So this Masters event is part of the Western Atlantic Surf Series. So the whole Belmar Pro is part of that, and they have been running a Masters events at a bunch of the contests this year. And I believe a guy named Tab Texter from Florida is leading. Well, he's leading the. He wasn't able to make it here, but he's leading the series right now.
Here goes Matt again.
Keenan.
Jimmy Hogan did well in one, right? I know he did well in some kind of Masters event.
Yeah, and there's been some. They had one in Florida a couple years ago that Dean Randazzo won. I believe it was Dino Andino was probably giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah.
Boy, Matt Keenan's surfing like a man on fire here.
Well, he's definitely a contender for this.
There's Buttons.
Buttons on the left, on his backhand.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it just seemed like the surf got a little bit better. It's just been a lot more open lines this heat than there were that last heat.
Yeah, it's starting to, I think the ocean's going to start to come alive a little bit.
Well, as the tide starts to turn around,
I
we'll
don't
hopefully.
think we're at dead low yet.
No,
so
we're just a little past dead low,
We
it looks
are.
like.
You can see the line, you know.
Boy, Matt Keenan is surfing like a man who wants to win this heat.
Matt Keenan, a recent new father.
Black is up.
So Keenan's looking for some diaper money out there, some diaper dollars.
Yellow's up. Oh, didn't make it out. Got in, but didn't make it out.
Ronnie Jackson.
Had a fun session with Ronnie last week. Well, I will say, if you've ever surfed with Ronnie, Ronnie likes to talk when he surfs. And is a very aggressive surfer in the water. Doesn't necessarily believe in the rotation system.
You should come to Manasquan then.
Ronnie never met a set wave that he didn't like. Same thing is true of Ronnie at the hook.
Minutes remaining. I hope we get to see Buttons get a few more waves here.
Buttons taking off now.
Wow.
Tries to float it up the top.
Buttons is on the south end here. You know, I think, I'm looking at that north corner, it almost looks like it opens up a little more to the right.
Yeah. Look at this right here in black, getting himself down the line a little bit.
Okay.
That's
If I see him, I'll yell.
Paul
Nice job,
Gibbons.
Yeah, that's a good wave.
Yeah.
Right after this heat, we'll bring you in.
So here we go. We've got about under 10 minutes left in this heat. Matt Keenan is out in front still with Buttons second.
Oh, we got a few? He got a few. He's out there in white. Buttons right now, Buttons is in second place. So we are here live. 2012 Belmar Pro webcast brought to you by
Looks
the
like
Surf
Buttons.
Review.
Looks like Buttons sees a peak over there. Paddling for this one. Buttons is up. Finds a little section. And tries to float it off the top without too much success.
Guys, I'm going to bow out. I'm going to hand the mic over to Reno and let him commentate on his bra from Hawaii.
That's it.
All right.
Thanks very much, Scotty.
Scotty,
Appreciate
great
it.
See you guys.
We'll talk to you later.
All right, yep.
Heal quickly, will you, man?
Thank you. I'm trying.
We're joined now after you saw him by
Reno, have a seat, buddy.
by saying anything other than this is a surf legend.
Thanks again, Scotty.
I know Reno doesn't like to hear that. As I mentioned earlier.
I've grown to accept it.
All right. Well, what happens, I always say, if you stick around long enough, you get recognized.
So Reno, what do you think? It's not epic out there, but it is clean. There are a few corners out there. We saw you get a few runners down the line, some good frontside waves.
Well, I happened to borrow the shortest, lightest board I could find from a buddy, my recent buddy Bart Yarnall.
Oh,
And
nice.
He'd only ridden it for the first time yesterday, and I said, hey, this board looks like it's going to work better than the one I brought from Hawaii. And,
so what did you bring from Hawaii?
I brought sort of a fish shape.
You shaped it, I assume?
Yeah, I did. I shaped it myself, and it just needs a little bit. I actually got a off-season North Shore swell just before I got on the plane. It was a place called Chun's Reef, and it worked great there. But these waves kind of lack even some of the juice that we have in Hawaii. So I had to find something to compensate.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you have a continental shelf.
Okay, here goes Buttons. He looks like he smells his peak. He's got it. All right. Oh, he's got a good corner on it. He's going to get some length out of it. He pulls something up. All right.
All right, had some speed on that.
Yeah.
Floated that section nicely.
Yeah, Buttons is riding what we affectionately call the cockroach model. He's got a super wide outline, 22 inches wide, and it's the widest tail on a shortboard I've seen in ever, I think, like 17 and a half wide. But Buttons has a 12 and a half inch foot, so, he's got to have something to fit his foot.
What kind of fins has he got in there?
He's got a quad, and originally when he tried riding it the first time, it was a twin with a trailer, and I kind of recommended he rides either the fiberglass twin fin setup or switch to a quad, and he's taking my coaching instruction on that one. So we surfed a place called the Pipe.
Yeah.
At Spring Lake there.
Yeah.
And he was taking it apart like it was a day in Waikiki, and so he said, "You better stick to that quad setup."
Well, I know he had a couple of good waves on that. The first day I saw you guys, I guess that was over in Asbury Park. He had a couple of good waves there. It was kind of windy, but he was riding that same fin setup.
Yeah,
I
he was
think.
riding the twin setup that day. Yeah, you're right.
You've been enjoying your week. I know you haven't been here since
You people in New Jersey are probably the most gracious, hospitable surfing state in the union.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
It's really, really nice around here, and it's really, you guys are, I guess your surroundings are.
Oh, we're watching Buttons.
Here goes Buttons.
Looks like he wants to sneak in it.
He snuck in and semi snuck out.
Dipper, but
we'll see what the judges want to give him on that.
So, Reno, what's the thought of New Jersey, among Hawaiians and stuff like that? Obviously, is there kind of like, what's the perception, and then how's it different when you actually get here?
I think, New Jersey and the East Coast, people are still, except for the fact that so many hurricanes have come through in the past, this decade past, so many of the good hurricanes have thrown great waves, and we're getting, saturated with all the good pictures of everybody from Florida to Maine, surf. Like the week before we got here, the surf was so epic, I guess, everywhere from Florida to Maine, and it was like, wow, you guys do. I've known for a long time that you guys get good waves here. Right. And the only, throwback was, I see you guys surfing in the snow, and it's like, I'm not going to do that.
Well, it has its own special appeal. Like I go out and cover the Triple Crown every year, and it's always amazing to be in Hawaii, and but then, to come home right in the end of December, there's always seems to be some weather and some swells right when I get home, and it's it's something totally different to dig yourself out and go surf in the snow. A few less people out than you surf with.
What I'm really stoked about is that the water is still fairly warm. The air gets a little chilly in the morning and evenings, but still the water's like bath water.
Yeah. This has been an exceptionally warm summer.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm all up with that warm water thing.
You and me both. So the board you were riding today, Reno, is quite a bit different than the board you rode in 1968 in Puerto Rico?
Well, the 68, I actually had two boards that I took to Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, the airlines broke the fin, on the shorter board that I had. I had a 5.6, and then the only other board I had was a 6.10, and that was my minigun.
And there goes Buttons.
Oh, Buttons got a good corner. Oh, yeah, he's got a racetrack.
Corner.
He's got a racetrack. Oh, yeah, baby. He's floating it. Oh,
Matt Keenan had
a distance on that. He did sort of complete that.
He's had some speed and some distance. Where are we in terms of score? Buttons is still in second place behind Matt Keenan, who seems to be finding every corner on every wave that there is.
No, Matt, is he the one of the youngest?
Matt's 37. This is his first year in Masters.
There's some noise I heard from some of the other guys in the Masters. Oh, they should have cut it off at 40.
There goes Matt again.
There goes Matt. Yeah, well, he's a thinner, smaller guy. It looks
Yeah,
like he's got it.
he's a much smaller and younger. So you had a 6'6" in Puerto Rico back then?
No, I took a 5'6", which the airlines promptly broke the fin on. It was a round tail. It was a wafer thin board, but I had a 6'10" minigun that Dick Brewer shaped me. That really worked well when the waves got to about 4 to 5, 4 to 6, up to about 8 foot. And it really, really went fast. I could carve on it, and it was kind of. It had a lot of the characteristics that the modern shortboard does. It had down hard edges in the tail, down rails, flat to a V bottom, and just pulled an outline.
Black is up, not much. Well, the boards that were ridden in that contest went anywhere from, I guess, your 6'10" to Fred Hemmings was riding a 9-footer, and
I think Fred Hemmings had like an 8'6" board. I think it was 8'6", and that was a short one for him. But it had all the much beefier and much thicker. And then Midget Farley had an 8-foot gun, which had had the proper gun outline. And I think the guys that were supposedly, like Nat Young was the defending champion, he rode what I thought was kind of a rounded nose, round tail, and they were still interested in doing that vertical thing. And their emphasis was on the fin design, the George Greeno inspired fin
there
design.
goes Buttons again. Got another little corner flying around.
Well, you can see a lot of skateboard technique in Buttons' style. He likes to get that board skating down the wave.
Well, I know the board that Corky Carroll rode in that contest is actually in New Jersey now. Scott Edrington has that board. And when you look at it and you compare it to the shorter boards.
I know. When we look, from a shaper's point of view, when I look back, even 10 or 15 years ago, when I look at the shapes I did then, in the early 90s when the boards went to the Kelly Al Merrick version of the boards, a lot of the it took the fun out of surfing. You had to have like perfect waves that JB or
there goes Randy again, or Matt Keenan again.
Okay.
So Reno, what you're talking about is the early 90s.
The boards went to low volume, a lot of rocker, full concave bottom. And a lot of guys of my era just said, hey, what happened to the V, and what happened to the volume? I can't surf these boards anymore. So a lot of them,
Well, that was the time when I went back to riding a longboard.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I was either riding my 80s shortboard,
and at the same time,
with the low volume, I went to a longboard again.
The magazines got
look,
really
somebody's got a Hawaiian representing. Got the Hawaiian flag out there.
There we go.
Nice. So,
actually, I think
Buttons has a whole Kalani clan out here that a bunch of cousins and nieces and nephews he hasn't even met.
So that heat is done. It looks like Matt Keenan won that heat. Buttons came in second, so Buttons will advance. And Matt, Paul Gibbons came in third. Ronnie Jackson wasn't terribly busy in that heat. Ronnie came in fourth. Now we have the next heat. This will be an interesting one. Quarterfinal heat 5. Brian Ewenson from Florida, Gary Finnegan, Jerry Matthews, your host, and Bart Yarnold is in this. This should be interesting. Be interesting watching Jerry ride a shortboard. That's rather unusual.
I think Jerry just pulled out a brand new locomotion, and it looks sort of like a hybrid because Jerry's an avid longboard guy. He told me he's going to ride his Zodiac, kind of an MR inspired shape that he was going to ride, a thruster, but kind of an MR inspired looking board. I looked it out. I checked it out. It has a nice swallowtail with a bump wing, but I think he opted for this. What color is Jerry?
Jerry's yellow.
Okay, yeah. I think he's on this sort of a locomotion by a guy named, I think it's Rick Carroll shaped it. Speaking of MR, I've got an MR event, an MR tribute event coming in the International Board Show in.
That's the Scott Bass's show?
Yeah, Scott Bass's show, which used to be the Sacred Craft. I'm one of these. The goldfish and the shaping bowl. We're going to be all shaping off an MR replica board, or we're going to try to replicate. This is October 6th and 7th.
Del Mar, I believe.
Yeah, Del Mar, California.
I have been trying for 3 years to get Scott to come out here and do a show similar to that. And
I don't see why not. Why it wouldn't be successful, because he's Scott Bass is a survivor, and he's taken the concept. He's ridden with it. I think Billabong is the overall sponsor, and he's hooked up with them now. But
well, when you get back, tell Scott that I told you to bug him same way I do, to bring something here.
What would probably happen? He'd have to make another Scott Bass. He'd have to split himself in two to get it done. Because when I see him at the show, he's so consumed by it, and it's months of preparation. So maybe somebody else should just do the concept and just take it from there. Because
there we go.
Why not?
Who was that? Was that Gary Finnegan?
He's a local guy, I believe, from Avon by the Sea, and he's surfed with some of the best guys on the East Coast, and I believe he does some.
Gary Finnegan is our gracious host. He had a great dinner party at.
And he does something with equestrians, I believe, right?
Well, he gave us a background on his. He was a former horse. Used to raise horses for trotting, as opposed to thoroughbreds for regular horse races. But he had some interesting stories to tell last night
Gary
at the party.
again?
And then we got Bart Yarnold, who's in the water right now.
Yeah, Bart's I guess cracked a rib early in the week, and he's in a lot of pain. Yesterday he went and got some acupuncture treatment. But Bart's board is what I borrowed in my first heat. So
he's out on the same board right now.
He's out on the same board.
So Bart, he runs he's the organizer of the Hannah.
Earlier in the week we had a surf storage.
No, that's Yarnold.
Yeah, that's Yarnold.
That's Yarnold.
Oh, yeah, oops.
That's Yarnold.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know Bart's a goofy foot. Yeah, we had a very nice event at the surf stories dedicated. Oh, here goes Jerry. Jerry's got some line
Jerry's
going.
got that longboard.
Jerry's
got that longboard style.
Yeah, he's sort of he's making real turns. So
yeah, that was a pretty nice event the other night over at Jake's Crab Shop.
Yeah, it was great.
With Cecil Lear was here. And a lot of local history.
There's Yarnold again.
Looks like they're moving down the beach. Who's that in red? Yui? Looks like Yui off the top.
Way down the beach.
People are moving down to that southern end. Right now it looks like Brian is in first place. But as I've been saying all morning, you can get a 5 and a 5. You're going to win a heat. And Brian's got a 6.33 and a 3.33. Gary Finnegan's in second. Bart Yarnold in third, and Jerry Matthews. They haven't dropped his score yet, so I think Jerry will probably advance above Bart on that wave.
There goes Bart again. All right, Bart.
All right, so Bart.
Oh, he's got 3 turns and a lip bash.
He's filling his column at least there.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Then goes
White's up.
Gary.
Gary's up again.
And again.
So that's cool that since you've been here, you really have met all the Masters competitors pretty much, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Huey?
Huey again.
And it's really good for me to see guys in the Masters bracket who are all still very stoked, still very involved, very knowledgeable about what they ride, and
look at Matthews here.
They're seasoned veterans of a sport and a lifestyle that's we get to enjoy, even as family situations carry on. I mean, a lot of these guys are granddads and have grown children who are also surfers, and
so stay connected to it.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's a very family friendly surfing environment in New Jersey, and that makes me happy to see that.
The other thing we commented about earlier, because of the winter, it's much more tribal than people expect. Everybody kind of knows everyone that's been around, especially amongst the Masters level people. Because for many of us, we were the first generation of surfing here, as you heard from Cecil the other night.
Right, how tough it was to even get surfboards in the very beginning. Yeah.
I first surfed this beach over here, 10th Avenue, in 1963.
Oh, geez.
With Cecil.
Yeah, Jerry's telling me stories about getting harassed for surfing. Period. You know, you couldn't. It wasn't something you could just.
No.
Oh wow!
Wow, nice
Bart's
one by Bart.
Man,
Hey,
finding
Bart's finding some little pockets.
there's Buttons doing a little coaching down by the water there.
he's trying to get Jerry primed up, keep him pumped up. Probably have to get Buttons up here and have him
Absolutely.
do motor mouth for you.
Oh well, that's
call
a
it motor
given.
mouth.
That's a given.
You get motor mouth, brah.
That's a given.
Okay, here goes Jerry.
Jerry.
Up and riding.
Jerry's got that. Couple of
That was a good
couple of
floater.
turns.
That was a legitimate floater.
Couple of turns.
So Brian Hewitson is a former World Tour surfer. He surfed a year in the 90s, and right now he looks like
He's ahead. He's got a
in the lead.
9.6.
Yeah. I think Huey's about 36, so he's going to make sure that he gets a few waves, but he's obviously not going to hassle anybody for waves.
No. We got Bart's in second place right now. I think Jerry made advance on that wave. He had like 3 little turns on that wave. You know, it's really great to see masters surfing at the level they are. Not just here, but everywhere. I know Juan Ashton was here, and Juan is now a 4-time. Juan had a heat against Sonny Garcia in Nicaragua this year in the ISA Masters. That was as impressive as any heat you'll see anywhere.
Yeah, they got really great waves, and the Hawaii team walked away with the gold. And
and I believe Puerto Rico was second.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
believe it was.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I thought it might have been Australia, but anyway.
Well, if not second, they were up close.
And Dean Randazzo had a 10. He was out in the same heat as Sonny.
Yeah, that was
slowed himself down into that barrel. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that Randazzo Sunny heat was pretty impressive.
It looks like some of the.
I didn't get to watch all the heats that I was.
Oh, look at this! Looks like as the tide comes in, we're going to get some waves.
A set outside, and it looks like
Bart's
found a corner. Oh, he didn't find the.
But you and Buttons have certainly been busy this week.
Well, Buttons brought his family. I'm kind of solo. I'm Uncle Reno to the Buttons clan. He's got a 4.5-year-old boy and a new young little girl, and they're handfuls. So that he's much busier than I, just running around being dad.
So the family that Buttons has got up here, are they local?
Well, no, they're kind of spread out, but apparently one of Buttons' great grandparents moved here in the early. I thought I heard 1800s, but it might be early 1900s when they moved here, and they have thrived.
Oh yeah.
And they have clan get-togethers and everything, and a bunch of them are here to cheer Buttons on.
So these are all Hawaiian.
They live in New Jersey. They've been here and have been ever since.
Wow.
They
That's an interesting transition.
The real ironic one. There's a kid named Reno Kaluhio Kalani
in New Jersey.
He's a 12-year-old kid, and he's really funny. When he wrote down his address for me, I had to show it to Buttons, and it's like, see, we are related.
Hey,
that's a good ring to
that's
it.
great.
The
Bart
dad
again.
fest.
Look at Bart with a little head dip. Gets that.
That was.
So Doc, does that lend a little bit of evidence to the Sandwich Island girl story?
I don't know if Reno knows about that. There's a bit of a controversy as to
family
where
was
the first wave was surfed in the continental U.S. Back in the 1860s, there is a hand-drawn cover of a Police Gazette. It was up in Asbury Park where you were the other day.
Oh, I think I saw something like that in Surfer's Journal.
And the headline was "Sandwich Island Girl Rides the Waves in Asbury Park."
In 1860?
I think it was
1889.
1889, all right. Wow. But it predates all the California stuff. I know the Duke surfed in Atlantic City.
Right. Yeah. He. I'm not exactly got my. I'm not that scholarly about surf history in New Jersey, but I was told that he opened the doors here, as he did in many places around the world,
yeah.
because he was here and the swimming competitions were pretty.
It was between Olympic, his Olympic time.
Well,
and
he was
doing
probably
swing
doing a lot of
demos
training and demos, and he's probably, I don't know how he got here, but yeah, I'm sure wherever he saw a wave, if he's like a true Hawaiian himself, he I see a wave, I want to go hack out. Where's the nearest log? I want to hack out a board and do it right there on the beach and paddle out.
Evidently, that was probably the case. The guy Bradley, who is one of the founders of Asbury Park with the Sandwich Island Girl story, was kind of a P.T. Barnum-like character and would bring people here to highlight tourism. And I'm quite sure the same thing happened with the Duke at the Steel Pier in Atlantic City.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm not the scholar on that. I'm going to have to, when I have time, I'm going to go
We'll have
back
to ask Randazzo. He might know.
Oh, really? Is Dina?
He's from down that neck of the woods, or at least closer than we are.
Cool.
No, he's not the surf scholar, I don't think.
Excuse me.
So how are we doing with this heat? We've got about 6 minutes left. Brian Hewitson seems to be in first place with a 9.68. Bart Yard's been picking off a lot of waves, and he's got a 7.5. Gary Finnegan, the local Gary Finnegan, 6.97. And Jerry Matthews with a 5.13. So everyone is pretty much close. If we can get a couple of waves in the 5.
There's Bart again.
Get a couple waves in and around
Bart
5.
Keeps finding all the open lines.
You can look at the board that he's riding. It's another one of those flat, round, wide forward point boards.
It's actually pretty deceiving. It's the wide point's probably near center or further back, but it's got a full nose, so this is kind of a mini hybrid, and it's got very concave bottom. The thing that I liked about it was that it's super light.
There's Jerry Matthews.
There goes Jerry.
Jerry's got
got 3 turns on that one. Jerry's
only his third wave.
No, I think he's got 4. There's Huey.
There's Huey. Bam.
Jerry's style is so smooth and longboard suited. If he were to snap a few of those turns, he'd probably get a few more points. It's not that he's not getting the wave.
We're going to see what happens when that last wave of Brian Hewitson drops. That Huey's turn was a little more critical, a little more vertical than Huey's kind of laying off a little bit. Even though it was one move, we're going to see how that falls. It was a little bit more of a critical turn. We're down to about 5 minutes here. Hewitson still has a lead. Yarnold right behind him.
See if you can find buttons. Okay. And I also wanted to get Juan Ashton. How about, up here. How about Juan Ashton, too? He was just here. We want him up here.
He's still up here.
Oh, yeah, bring him over after we know these.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for coming up here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for coming to New Jersey. So a little bit of a lull.
All righty, we still got people in the water. We've got quarterfinal, about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Brian Hewitson is still in the lead. Bart Yarnold is second place still. Gary Finnegan third. He's going to go? Oh, okay.
Get
him up here for time. He's the next after that, we want to bring him up.
Yeah, you said he'll come back.
Okay. As we're progressing through the day, it continues to be a beautiful one here in Belmar. The beach is filling up with people. The sun is shining. The sky is about as blue as it'll get. A couple of puffy clouds here and there. Got some heats in the water, and the tide's starting to turn around now, so we're hoping to see a little bit more push. And we're still awaiting whatever Nadine is going to bring us for later today and hopefully tomorrow. Everyone anticipates that Nadine should be bringing us at least a chest-high swell. But we'll find that out in a short period of time.
And remember that today's forecast, even though we're looking at a 1 to 2 foot wave, was kind of 1 foot.
Yeah, today's forecast was pretty bad.
Consistent, and maybe getting better in the afternoon. So we've already done a little bit better than we thought we were going to do.
Yeah, I think we've seen the worst of it.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday afternoon had to be the worst of it.
Now, when are you guys heading back?
Our flights leave Monday, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, too bad.
Not too bad.
Monday
Yeah, right.
A really fun day.
The surf comes just before we get here, and then right after.
That's how it works.
Why does that happen?
Unless you go to Hawaii, in which case, pretty much, you just hope it drops down enough.
Yeah.
This is actually October's actually not a bad time in Hawaii. I was there once. Right,
yeah, it's a little
season swells.
It's a little early. We've had some off season. I just came back from one the week before I left. There was another off season swell on the North Shore. It was fun. It was great.
The only problem with those early off season decent swells on the North Shore in October is everybody shows up.
Oh yeah,
everybody gets itchy.
Oh yeah, everybody's in the water. With the advent of the internet, and the surf lines, surf reports, etc. People see their cameras at their local beaches or get the surf report, and it's whenever the surf comes, it's pretty much.
So where
everybody's on it.
You're in town then?
No, I live on the North Shore. I'm kind of on the quiet side of the North Shore at Wailua, Mokuleia area. So I still have to drive through parts of the North Shore that have a lot of traffic.
A lot of people.
Yeah. I'm still out there, and
well, it's a lot closer.
Down the beach, we just saw.
That was Gary Finnegan.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That may have just changed things. Gary Finnegan just pulled into a wave, and
Gary got a barrel.
The
gods smiled on him and gave him a barrel.
He kind of really willed himself into that thing and just came out.
Can we get a replay on that one, perhaps? No way. Oh well.
So he's way down the beach down there, and I would not be surprised if that put Gary Finnegan into second place. He kind of came out the dog door. He just kind of had to push himself out, but he did come out of that wave.
There goes Bart Yard again on an inside wave. Boy, we'll have to see the score drop on that one. That's a game changer.
He just kind of came off the bottom. He got a little speed, just enough to get him.
It put Gary into second.
There it is.
Oops.
Gary Finnegan Sr. now in
second place. Brian Ewenson in first. Gary in second.
So who would have thought that little barrel rides would come into play today?
They give points for barrels? What?
Oh, look at that. With the buzzer, that counts for Jerry.
That counts for Gary.
Matthews. Let's see if he
Come
can.
on, Jerry.
Jerry tried to get in, but he can't get out. All righty. Well, Reno, we can't thank you enough for coming up and spending some time with us.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for everything you've done for surfing, and
thank you. I'd like to think that given the years spent going at it and observing where surfing has been and keeps going, I'm happy to contribute still with some commentary.
And the one thing we always appreciate here, since we generally have to chatter amongst ourselves, is when we get somebody.
You guys are talking to yourselves.
When we get someone else that'll take the heat off, we appreciate it.
You should be here in the winter. We talk to ourselves for 3 months straight.
Thanks very much, Reno.
When you guys are grumbling, putting on your 6'4" and your hoods, and you go, why do I still do this?
It still is a good question.
Well. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Aloha.
Aloha. Mahalo.
And, I got to give a shout out to my my friends in Hawaii and my family and my web gal Rudy. Aloha. From New Jersey. Bye.
And do us a favor and send up buttons if you see him.
Okay, I got to pull him by the ears though.
Thanks again, Reno.
I know. I'll tell him he'll get paid if he comes up.
All right. Paid in pizza.
There's nothing like scoring epic waves at home with your best friends, but there's other places that I enjoy. You need to be pumped up and ready, but you don't want to freak yourself out. I feel like it helps your surfing a lot.
guys. We just got another Masters heat under the way. The rest of the
Erie up and running. Nice little backside
there we go.
lap right there.
Our own boy Erie Peoples is in the Masters heat right now. We got local boy James over here, and we got Barry Peterson, the Minister of Entertainment.
There we go.
This is an all local webcast for the next few minutes. So, Barry,
Ooh, we missed
how's that pizza, and who made it?
Man, this pizza right here. Three Brothers Pizza Belmar, one of the sponsors here for the Belmar Pro. Amazing pizza right here. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Props to Jason. He's been sending pies up here to the booth, so they're keeping us fed. Go down to the Finn's tent and get some of their delicious food and a killer smoothie. Right now,
Yellow.
Not up and riding. Nice little wave for him right there.
okay, this is the Masters Semi Heat 1. Dean Randazzo, Erie Peoples, Matt Keenan, and Gary Finnegan. Erie's sort of like an honorary local in this town now, I guess you would say, right, Barry?
I would definitely say that. He's been shaping boards for Eastern Line Surf Shop for a long time. Of course, he shapes Penetrator custom surfboards. Mark rides those. James here's rode those for a while.
Here's Dean.
Dean's
and
up,
running.
little backside.
Yeah. Nice little re-entry right there. That's a good lead for Dean right there.
Right
that
there.
should take the lead.
Dean, of course, is our New Jersey pride and joy. But he's got a lot of up-and-coming New Jersey guys coming up.
The White Devil.
I'm the White Devil.
That's an twist of the Jersey Devil.
Right?
So we're just waiting for some scores to come through. There's 18:39 left in the heat. This is semifinal 1 of the Masters at the Belmar Pro. This is the first year we're having an official Masters event. A couple legends flew in from Hawaii and Puerto Rico. Juan Ashton, legendary surfer. He'll be up, I believe, the heat after this. I think he's competing in both the longboard and the Masters.
Yes.
You got to set out the back. Let's see what anyone does.
Looks like Randazzo's looking at this.
Dean's
Call it.
turning, he's going. Nice little front side turn right there. That's the thing about Dean. He'll grovel 1 foot like this and then go out on the biggest day in Jersey and be best guy in the water, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I just remember being at Grom, 18th Ave right here, probably head high day, just watching him, and it was just inspiring, you know, just to see what he could do on those waves.
Inspiring.
Yeah, Dean's a powerful surfer, and let's put it this way: Tom Curran thinks that he rips. So
Yes.
if Tom Curran thinks you rip, you're good.
That's right.
You're one of the best.
That's right.
Dean was made a real big name for himself years ago. There was footage of him during one of the contests at Honolulu Bay. I don't know if it was a contest or not, but Dean got what was called the wave of the winter at Honolulu Bay. Gigantic, gaping barrel.
Yeah.
Erie's up. Erie on his backhand here. Can't make much of that wave. A little bit too fast for him.
I think I can hear Erie cursing from the water now.
Yeah.
Matt, nice little backside, throwing it up there, hanging it.
So what's going on that far stage down there, Mark? What's popping down there? We got a little Predator of Assassins going on. So
Yeah.
what?
Why don't you tell us who's played so far
Man.
and give us a rundown. Barry here is the Minister of Entertainment. What that means is he's in charge of what's going on here with the bands and after parties and all that stuff. So break it down for us.
All right, so basically, man, today it's been such a great day with all the great surfing we had. We've had some great bands coming up. We've had Fiction 20 Down from Maryland, amazing reggae band. We have Predator of Assassins, New Jersey band, top reggae in the area, super amazing. We have Bastard Sons all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, coming here to play their headline in the beach today. The whole tent village, everybody's waiting for this show. They put on a hell of a show. Tonight we got a little party at 10th Ave Burrito with Lanso spinning it right. All the way from Miami, culture shock music. Lanso's at every major surfing event, keeping it real. And then tonight we'll have yours truly, a little bit of Barry and the Penetrators. Mark over here, guitarist 15 years in. So, I mean, with surf, you have music, art. I mean, this is like a true circle of our culture here in New Jersey. Surf, art, music, good people. We got blessed with an amazing day today. A little bit of wind just keeping us cool, which is totally
Dean's
fine.
looking at this on his backhand.
Oh, we got Dean up on another wave.
Big time.
Keenan is widely regarded as one of the better small wave surfers ever from the East Coast. He's incredible in these small, you know.
Super light on his feet.
Super light on his feet.
So quick. Speaking of the band, real quick.
Come say hi, Gina.
Hi. How is everyone?
Here's our keyboard player and for Barry and the Penetrators, Gina, right here. Say hi to everybody on the internet.
Hi, everybody.
She's probably one of the cutest ones in the band. So she's backup vocals, and I'm lucky enough to be married to her. So, what do you think of the event today, Gina?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Erie's ripping it right now. You guys are totally missing it. And
that's cool.
Dean's up, you know. So it's exciting.
Dean's looking at this one.
All right. Now
pulls back from that, not offering much.
All right. Well, I'm going to go back to eating my pizza. Enjoy the webcast, everybody. Keep tuning in. Tell your friend. Twitter it to all your friends. Instagram it. Let everybody know that we are here all day today and tomorrow. The big party's at 10th Ave Burrito tonight. One love to all you guys. And positive vibes. Much prop to Surfer View. Derek hustling his tail off, putting this on for us.
Finnegan,
highly appreciated.
Nice little...
One love.
All right, we have 13:23 left in semifinal heat 1 of the Masters. D. Randazzo's currently in first. He's got a 12.6. He has posted a 6.5 and a 6.1. Others are two scoring waves. Matt Keenan is in second with 10.70. He needs a 6.83 to advance. Erie Peoples from New Smyrna Beach, Florida is in third. He's got a 7.07. He needs a 6.80 to advance. And Gary Finnegan is in fourth with 2.97. He needs 9.13 to advance. James, what do you think? Where's Nadine at? Where is she?
I just have a question for you, though. Like, we're both East Coast surfers, I'd say. We're respectable guys. We know waves. Who do you think's better, the Florida guys in small waves or the Jersey guys in small waves?
Well, if you look at like numbers and you look at results and you look at where all the world champions come from, Florida got us, and the Florida guys are the ones that over the years have been dominating a lot at this contest. But I would like to think that us Jersey guys are pretty good.
I think we're unsung. We're unsung heroes.
We're unsung heroes. You know, New Jersey's like the armpit of the surf world, you know? It's like we are the Rodney Dangerfields of surfing. So we have to work quadruple as hard to get respect and out in the surf world than the rest of the surfing community does. But we like it. We like being a dark horse.
We also have Springsteen.
We
also have Springsteen.
We got Dean Randazzo.
We got Dean Randazzo.
Come on now. He made the CT.
X Games hero as well.
X Games hero. Mac
USA.
and Puerto Escondido. There's a couple little lines coming in.
Matt's having to look at this up on his backhand, really going fast on that wall. Ooh.
It looked like he wanted to boost. We got Randazzo paddling for one now too. He's
nice section coming. Nice, really nice turn right there.
Ooh, and he pulls it.
Yeah. Really nice turn up there.
All right.
The thing about this Belmar spot when it's small like this and it's about low tide right now is it just really fast lines and it dumps really fast on the sandbar. So you got to be really sharp on your game and get it up there really fast and get your maneuver in, or else you're just chasing a closeout, you know?
That's right. You got it, James. All right, we got 10:38 on the clock. Randazzo's still in first. Matt Keenan is still in second. We're scrambling from some scores. Erie's looking at he needs a 6.8 to advance. What do you think our boy Erie can pull something out of his hat?
He's a Florida boy, like you said, the Florida boys. They know how to surf small waves, and Erie definitely one that knows how to surf in general, so anything could happen here. It's a great heat.
Yeah, the guy you see in the white jersey out there is my surfboard shaper. And he makes one of my favorite boards I've ever had. If Dan Hitchcock, if you're watching, thanks for fixing my board. He fixed the fin box on my board. And oddly enough, my board didn't break from surf, and a gust of wind took it across my yard and slammed it into a tree. tree. My whole quiver went flying in the wind. Alright, we're waiting for some new scores to come in on those last couple rides.
Gary's having a look at this. I'll get up, but wave didn't really offer much for him.
Yeah, I could tell Erie's probably getting a little frustrated. I know he's been in this event. He's entered the event for the past several years that he's been coming up, and you know, he's made it out of some heats and stuff. But I know he really wants to finally like make a showing at this event.
I remember the one year. It was pretty. We had some swell. It was a lot of swell coming, and Erie had broken. He brought up 2 or 3 boards, and he broken everyone before the contest had even started.
I remember that.
He was the heat before mine, so I led him to my board, and he surfed this heat on my board. Comes out, hands me the board. I paddle out for my heat.
We share boards around here. It's no shame. It could sometimes be like sharing a girlfriend, but I don't. You know.
I'm territorial like that. I don't like to share. Share my boards, but I'm not sharing my girls.
All right, we got yellow paddling for this. Matt's up.
And white too. Erie,
Keenan gets
Matt,
a nice floater.
Erie pumping down the line.
Nice.
Hangs it up there a little. Dean out the back.
Dean Randazzo.
Nice looking wave.
Blam.
Wave just lines up.
Ooh, what was that little frustration on Dean? That was uncharacteristic of Dean Randazzo.
Hey, I thought that was a.
He's one of the coolest cats I know. That's a little surprising. I don't know if that was frustration or just like, what was that? One cool little thing is, you know, according to the forecast, we're really not supposed to really start seeing any significant swell till tomorrow from Nadine, but at the same time, all things considered, you know, it hasn't really jumped up too much in size, but I'm seeing lines out there.
Yeah, there's
swell lines, so that's giving us a little hint that we might be getting our first little tickles of Nadine.
Gary had his first good wave there. A couple good maneuvers for him.
You know what's funny, James, is when the wind's offshore, it tends to make it a little deceiving. Like, you can't tell how big the waves are.
Exactly.
Until you see someone up on a wave and riding. Like, it looks like it's an ankle high, and then I see somebody take off on a wave, and it's like you know, I just saw somebody have a chest high bowl before.
Yeah. It's calling 6 minutes, 15 seconds. Internet time's a little off, so 6 minutes left in this heat.
So, I don't know if you guys have, if you're just tuning in or if you got to see the camera angle before, there is a nice crowd down on the beach. We got the vendor village set up, the tent village, and all the sponsors have their tents set up. Some of the sponsors are giving away some stuff, so if you go down there, I'm sure you could come home with a hat or a t-shirt. High Chew's giving away free t-shirts down at their tent. They have a little side stage set up over there. You know what's great is this event basically extends Belmar's summer by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These oceanfront businesses.
Local summer. It's the local summer.
This is the local summer, and you know, this event really extends all the oceanfront businesses for another 2 weeks. And it's a beautiful day at the beach. There's no badge checkers, and everybody can come on. It's free. There's free giveaways. We're going to be having some contests throughout the event, giving away some gifts.
It's also great for across the street Eastern Line Surf Shop. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for them.
Absolutely.
Big thanks to Don, everyone over at Eastern Lines.
Don Tarrant is the contest director. He's a little camera shy. I could never get him up here in front of the camera to interview with us, but we thank him for all his hard work. We start working on this contest back in like February, and people think it's just a contest just pops up out of nowhere, you know.
Here's Dean having a look at this. Oh.
Erie was up on his wave too.
Bails on that. 5 minutes left in the heat. 5 minutes.
That's Seems to be Matt Keenan turning around and looking for this wave.
That's a nice looking
He's up.
wave if he can get around it. Nice little floater off the top there.
This is basically a contest between Dean Randazzo and Matt Keenan, both South Jersey guys, both legendary rippers from New Jersey. And I don't know, Erie and Gary are having their own heat. Yeah. There's 2 separate heats going on out there. It's Dean versus Matt and Gary versus Erie.
You see their level of surfing in this though.
You're seeing a lot of paper flying around. We're having a little battle with the wind.
Gary up on that. Here we have Matt up on his backhand. Nice little turn right there. Nice float over the section. Throws it up there for one more, and let's see what that wave scores. But that was really good for Matt right there.
That's keeping busy.
Especially for these conditions as well.
Not surprisingly, Matt's catching a lot more waves than the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Dean tends to maybe be a little bit more picky and wait out maybe a little bit bigger set waves. Matt takes off on everything.
Like the lions and the scavengers.
Yeah. Okay, just to give you guys an update, we got 3 minutes left in semifinal heat 1 of the Masters. Dean Randazzo was in first with a 12.6. He needs a 1.9 to just keep himself at the top here. Matt Keenan needs a 6.83 to advance. Erie Peoples needs a 6.8 to take over the second place spot. And Gary Finnegan, he needs a solid score. He needs a 9.6, which is basically
Gary's up on this. Let's see what he does.
He's about a half a point from being comboed, so he needs to really pull something in here.
Definitely. Like Mark was saying before, how Dean tends to be a little bit more picky, and Matt kind of just goes on everything. The heat scores kind of reflect that right now. Matt's got a bunch of waves, good scores on, and then Dean not so many waves, but still in the lead. Higher scores for less waves, you know?
Yeah. You probably hear chaos going on below us. That's what happens when they start throwing away some giveaways off the scaffolding.
Matt pumping really fast on this one. Huge
wow.
air. Can't stick it, but I would have liked to see him stick that one. That would have got the crowd on their feet. Even still though, Matt, great surfer, awesome guy. See a nice little view of Dean right there, sitting, waiting.
We got Predator Dub Assassins slaying it on the stage over there.
Here's a replay of Matt's wave. See, he gets up, really fast pumping, top to bottom pumps, huge, nice little.
It looked like he just threw that one away.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of kicked it out after. Nice little view there. Really nice view right here. That's what you get when you have beautiful weather, no badge checkers, a lot of people on the beach. Just get beauty like this, simplicity. Put a smile on your face, definitely, Mark, right?
Yes, I'm smiling. Pervy camera guy.
Not too much going on in the water right now. Erie's splashing some water. Matt up again. Kicks out of
I don't know if you could tell on the webcast, but Matt was up the beach here, and over the course of the heat has gone halfway down the beach. He's actually on the opposite side of where these guys were sitting before. I think he started seeing some of these rights that start peeling down over there.
See this one coming in.
That's Erie Peoples looking at another wave.
Matt will get up on it. Whoa. They count it down. 2, 1, and the heat's over. Great heat right there. Dean taking it home for the Jersey guys. Matt in second, also advancing. Mark getting a little frustrated.
I'm I'm sick of the stuff flapping in my face. It's got to go. All of it. All of it. Sick of it flying in my face. Oh, we got kids tackling each other out there in the sand.
The Grom abuse.
Weight is up. That's Jack Murphy.
Another Jersey guy, Jack. Here we go, red. Oh, just can't stick that one. That was a really quick start to that heat. Horn blows, they're all up on waves. That was a really fast start.
Alright, just to give you guys an update, this is Masters semifinal heat 2. We got Jeff Myers in the red, Jack Murphy, local guy, in the gray, and Buttons Kalani, legend.
It's great to see guys like this coming out to the event, you know? It says a lot about what our event has to offer.
You know, I was just talking to Juan Ashton before, and he was really excited that this is going on, and he actually said to me, he's like, I can't wait. He said, this is great, and I can't wait to go back and tell all the rest of it. He's won a couple of the ISA World Masters events.
He's won 4 of the 5.
4 of the 5. He's dominating the Masters, and he just told me he can't wait to tell the rest of the Masters about this event.
Was he up here just now?
Yeah, it was well before when you guys
He said he'd come back up and do an interview.
Yeah, he did. He's got a heat. I think his heat is next.
Heat's next.
So we'll have Juan Ashton up here in the booth after he gets out of his heat. He is a legendary surfer. I remember when I was a kid seeing, I think he did the whole PSAA tour to ASP East.
Juan is still a legend in Puerto Rico and shows up whenever the waves are.
He's got a year on me, and he still surfs.
He still kills it.
You
know, there's a lot of people you have to see in the winter who show up. You don't see them; they come out of the woodwork, and you go, "Oh, it's Juan."
Jeff, having a look at this, just kicks out. Wave didn't offer much.
Certainly seems to be as the tide starts to fill in, every now and then we're getting a whole lot better wave than we did when the tide was dead low.
Definitely. It's the best time. Once the tide turns around, incoming tide here, makes a world of a difference.
I think we'll, I was just talking to Don and we were looking at the forecast, and I think we've seen the worst of it.
Yeah.
I think from here on out, and then tomorrow we're still looking at solid chest to head high waves tomorrow.
Jeff just had a really nice little backhand hit. He's getting to work early though. He's already got a couple waves under his belt, trying to keep busy out there.
That's the thing, as we discussed earlier today, as camera looks over, if you see that tent, if you're watching right now and you see the camera looking over that blue tent, come down to the beach and walk over to that blue tent and have some of the best food you ever had.
Great smoothies, great breakfast sandwiches, great burritos.
High quality products over at Fins.
Smoothie would be good. I think I'll head over there after this, Mark, and grab one for us. Sounds good.
Peanut butter cup.
Sounds good to me.
So
who's ahead in this heat?
Jeff Myers is ahead. He's got a 5.24. His he only had 2 waves so far, a 4.67 and half a point score, but we're waiting on a score to come in from the last wave he just had.
I think that'll definitely replace. Maybe.
Jack Murphy's got a. Jack's got a 233. Oh, Jack up on a wave, and he almost pulled a 360.
Almost.
Carving 360.
Was about a 300.
300-degree rotation.
Got Buttons paddling for a wave? Nothing. Day like today, we'll have to abbreviate the degrees of rotation. But it sure is pretty, though. The wind's back down a bit from what it was this morning. If you look out there on the horizon, this morning there was a lot more whitecaps. Here goes Buttons paddling for one. Got a little corner.
Here we go.
Jack's up, Buttons
got a little corner. Floats a section, goes off the top.
Buttons, two nice little
I don't believe that they'll call out an interference because it was two complete different sections. And in case of any of you that are watching and wonder if something like that's an interference, it would only have been an interference if when yellow got up, he made the section break in front of the surfer in white. But there was two complete different sections to that wave, so the judges normally won't call an interference on that.
We only came close today with that one paddling interference. Otherwise, people have been pretty consistent.
And we had 2 waves in a row today with three people on the same wave. 2 waves in a row without an interference both times.
Yeah, here we go. Here
That's
looks
rare.
like we got another little corner over here.
Jack's looking at this one.
Jack's got the corner.
Jack is scrapping. He wanted that wave hard.
Can't get into it.
That was it for a one-wave set.
You know Jack wanted that wave right there.
I don't know if you've ever surfed a heat with Jack, Mark, but not a guy that I want to take in a heat.
No, I don't. You know, I've known Jack for
Very
years,
aggressive.
but I don't think that I don't think I surfed a heat against him.
I had an ESCA heat with him, and he's an aggressive surfer. He gets what he wants, you know.
Where does he do that free surfing too?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
No, I think he's a little more mellow free surfing than he is.
Because occasionally you'll surf with someone who's surfs like they're in a heat in a free session.
Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson for sure.
Ronnie from Carbon Art, he's got a tent out there. Check out his art. He's
Ronnie's
behind us.
Basically, if you're surfing at the Cove at the Hook on a good day and Ronnie's
You're
out,
in a contest.
you're in a heat with Ronnie. You don't know it, but you're in a heat with Ronnie.
Or I should say Ronnie's in a heat with you.
Yeah, Ronnie's in a heat
Goes
with
that
you.
way.
He'll throw up 10s though.
Good luck
Oh,
getting
yeah.
good
He'll throw
luck.
up 10s.
Good luck getting the top set waves at the Hook.
It's not just the Hook. I was surfing with Ronnie last weekend someplace, and
Yeah.
it was
Some of
pretty.
the other
It was
local
pretty.
nuggets.
It was pretty mellow. There were about 4 of us, 5 of us out trading off waves.
You know what?
Plenty of peaks.
Ronnie's mellow when he's outside of the Hook, but he has every right to
Oh, yeah.
keep guard on the Cove. That's his spot.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got their
No,
spot. You know?
Ronnie was good, but it's funny how it turned a quiet, pleasant. You go ahead, Mark. You take this kind of session into a heat.
Yeah.
Buttons up. Nice little front side hit there.
I'll tell you, it's the same thing if you want to get a set wave at the Manasquan Inlet
yeah.
with Scotty Dewar on the peak.
Oh, well, I back in the 80s, I had a house down in Manasquan, so I spent a lot of time knowing about how it is at that
That's
peak.
his peak. Everybody's got their spots.
Everyone's got their spots.
You know? As we see Jack, he's up.
He's up. Got a little
Pump in there.
pumping.
Nice little hit. Did you throw a rail grab in there?
Not quite. Not quite.
Shout out to all the SRH boys if they're watching, and the Suburban Noise Records crew. In case you guys don't know, Jack is also a lifetime supporter of SRH, road manager of the Cottonmouth Kings. I believe that was his title with the Cottonmouth Kings, tour managing them. And he lives, eats, and breathes SRH and Suburban Noise, and he does a lot of good for that company. Kevin Zinger, if you're watching, your boy Jack's doing great. So,
So we got a wave here out the
looks
back.
like we got
All
one.
3 of them looking at something.
Buttons
Well, we got
the
2 on the
corner.
wave.
10 buttons.
Buttons.
Just a nice, really big, powerful hit there.
Buttons dips down, but nothing happens. Well, we don't have this year. We don't have a lot of the New York gang came down this year.
No,
I wonder if that's because everyone was tired from the unsound last weekend.
that could be. That could be.
I know we've got Alexis Engstrom's advancing in the women's.
Did Leif Engstrom come down here?
No,
I
Leif
thought I
didn't
saw
make
his
it.
name on that.
No,
heat
Leif's
draw
name
already.
was on the heat draw, but he got confused. He thought that his heat went the other day, and it was this morning.
Oh.
So he didn't come down. How much time we have left in this heat there, Mark?
We have 11 minutes left.
Plenty of
Jeff
time,
is in
plenty of
first
time.
with a 9.67. Murphy needs what I believe is a 6.6 to advance. Buttons is looking for a 2.8 to advance into second place. The score is really close between Buttons and Jack. I mean, it's by a third of a point or so here.
And then Jeff just taking the show away.
You need 2 5s to win.
Exactly.
That's the heats today. 2 5s to win.
I saw Dean throw up. What did he throw up? More than 12. 12
Yeah,
and change.
yeah, Dean did real well. to see tomorrow the Masters in some reasonable surf.
Exactly.
I know I'm a little biased to see that, but
I think the whole event with some good surf.
yeah.
In the past years, we've definitely had some really good surf for the event. It was 2 years ago where we had that storm.
The
and
board
it was
breaking.
head high every day.
Hurricane Igor double overhead during the finals.
Yeah.
On some of the sets.
Dunphy, huge
That was the board breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the swell. We had one heat where 3 or 4 longboards broken, and before halfway through a heat was over.
Yeah.
We had people running up
Don's
constantly,
longboard.
including Don's longboard. Don, the contest director, loaned his longboard to one of the competitors, and that thing was in 2 pieces in about 5 minutes.
Turned into
We got a
carbon
little
art.
corner over here.
Oh, look at we got a nice
Jack,
left
having a
coming
look.
down the line.
Jack's
up.
up and riding.
Not going to make it out of that little section.
I got a little hit at the end.
Snaps it up there, but not much. There's one behind it though. Who do we have in red?
Jeff.
Jeff? Nope.
Jeff's looking. He's
He's
in.
got it.
Mars
He's in
Powell.
it. It's got a little bit.
Nice pump,
Nice
dude.
pump.
Really
Little
nice
speed going.
yeah.
Nice floater. He's got another
Huge
another
hit.
another hit. Another little hit.
Pretty safe to say he's dominating this heat.
That's
Buttons too out the back.
that was a pretty good hit by Jeff.
If you notice, Jeff, he kind of saw the wave line up and he just really took off, you know?
He's really able to accelerate.
Exactly, and
Good
that floater, he
acceleration.
covered a lot of distance with that floater, which really set up the rest of the wave for him.
That's a key today. If you can get some acceleration, get that first pump, gives you the opportunity for a second and potentially a third move.
You know what's pretty neat that this is the first time you know, we haven't had the webcast going this is only the second webcast, but you know, just being at the event all the time, this is one of the first times at the Belmar Pro that I've actually seen a lot of people are actually standing down in the water. You know, I don't think we've had it where low tide coincided in the middle of the day with the crowded beach. And as you guys are seeing that are tuned into the webcast, when the camera pans out, there's a lot of people on the beach. Period. It's awesome down here right now. But there's a lot of spectators at the water watching. They're into it. They're watching. You know, a couple legends in the water.
Yeah, that
I'm Jessica Kwinski, I'm 17 and I'm from Belmar, New Jersey. So the first time I did the Belmar Pro, it was 3 years ago and I got 6th place overall. I just knew I wanted to keep coming back each year and try and do better than that. So training for the Belmar Pro, I'm always surfing 16th Ave, even like in the winter. It's like my local break. Just surfing there so much throughout the year makes me more comfortable there for when the time that the contest comes. Paddling out for the final, I was just kind of expecting to get like 4th place. You know, I was happy that I made the final. I remember falling on my first wave and I was like, all right, here we go, 4th place. And then as soon as I got my second wave, I ended up getting a 7.5 on it. And I remember, since it was so windy and the current was so strong, I remember coming in and running down the beach to paddle back out by the jetty, and everyone was just screaming at me, you're in first, you just need one more wave. So that's like when it switched in my head, like, okay, wait, you might actually have a chance at this. You, like, forget 4th place, like, you want to win this thing. And I did. Winning in front of my friends and family meant a lot to me. I was so thankful that everyone could be there. A really good support group, like my mom and dad were there and like my grandparents were there. So just to have everyone there definitely helped me with my confidence and definitely helped out a lot when I was getting through heats. You know, I surf with these people all the time and like just to be able to win and accomplish that in front of them, it made it that much better than just winning in general.
A big northeaster or a southern south swell that comes off North Carolina. But I mean, there's a full set right there.
Yeah.
See the lines too, it's really pronounced.
Yeah.
Juan Ashton looking at this, up and riding on his backhand.
There he goes. Nice form.
Really fast pumps. Throw some water there. Nice little closeout.
That was a good wave.
It was.
Yui was looking at the one behind it, but he saw something we didn't see.
For those of you who have looked at magazines before, chances are you've probably seen a photo of Sam on those October days that he's talking about, pulling in a freight train barrels in Bayhead.
Yeah, we're due for one of them. We haven't had one in it seems like over a year.
Pro surfers from around here is not afraid to stick around in the cold either.
No, I love the cold.
Yeah,
cold's it's the best.
Low crowds, right?
No one's out.
Local summer.
Best days, man. Best days are when it's 30 degrees and offshore.
Speaking of, you tend to end up on those trips to far off places in the coldest places.
Yeah.
Russia, Greece, Iceland, right?
Yeah.
What was your last cold water trip?
My last one was Norway.
Norway.
Yeah, with Chris Burkhardt. It was for Surfer Mag. It was really, really cool. We were actually like on the northeastern tip of Norway, which is pretty much, if you're looking over the ocean, you can see Russia is from where we were. And there was about 6 feet of snow covering every road except for the main road, so we had to take snowmobiles everywhere. Wow. And they like put us in survival suits.
Opposite
it was so
of
cold.
jet skis. Got
It was comedy. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I mean,
Norway
waves are phenomenal.
It was good?
Yeah, we got really good waves. I've been there 4 times, and every time I've gotten really, really good waves.
I have a friend there. I should take him up on his invite.
Yeah. Do you know what part he lives in, south or north?
He just moved up, I think, my tour is north, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's this one place called Unstad, and it's really, really fun. And then, like, it's kind of a little bit more raw of an ocean feel there. It's angry.
Do they have a lot of, like, reef breaks? Or
yeah, it's a lot of reefs. There's some beach breaks.
The guy I'm friends with is like this Viking type of dude who makes his own moonshine in his basement, and he's the explosives expert for the Norwegian Army.
No way.
Yeah, he goes out and works with Claymore all day. Let's have some moonshine and Claymore.
Get drunk and blow stuff up. That's not bad, man.
Well, he actually invited me to get drunk and go blow stuff up. So.
That's awesome. I mean, how can you turn a trip like that down?
Well, I want to go.
I'll tell you what, though, you do have to save a lot of money because it is expensive.
Really?
Yeah, it's really, really expensive.
What other cold water places have you been to that you like?
Iceland. Iceland's cool. I think Norway is honestly the most beautiful place I've ever been to.
Really?
How are the girls?
I don't know. I
didn't see him.
I didn't go out.
Strictly surf?
Yeah, well, I mean, we hung out in Oslo for like a few hours. I had a layover, but it was pretty much just, after about 3 weeks there this time, I just wanted to get home. The first time I went out in Oslo and this other place, Stavanger, and we had a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we got Juan Ashton up on another one. He's just killing it out here.
And Huey?
Yeah.
There goes Huey. Boom!
Really, really
stick that. There we go. Nice.
Critical.
Just real quick, and then we'll get back to Sam's story here. We got 4:18 left in the heat. Juan Ashton's leading with an 11:37. Huey needs a 7.1 to advance. I don't know if that was a 7.
No.
That wave he just had.
You'll never know, though. That was
I just got up here, so don't ask me.
Yeah, well, that wave he had, I think if he had like another big banger before he got that last move, he'd be looking. But we saw waves like that only pulling 5s and 6s, so I don't know. And Chris DeVoy, he needs 5:11 to take over Huey's second place spot. But I think with these, it's only the first place that's advancing in the Masters. Really? Yeah, I don't think it's the top 2. I'll have to check with the judges
on the last
that.
team?
Jack Murphy?
Joffrey?
Jeff Myers.
Joffrey Myers?
Yeah, Joffrey Myers.
Joffrey Myers.
And Jack Murphy won the heat before that.
Ryan Hewitson looking at this.
There he goes.
Well. Getting a nice start to this wave.
That was a good wave. I don't...
Tell you what, man, for a svelte guy, man, he throws it on rail hard. his frontside hack is lethal.
Yeah, that it is. It's scary.
That's for sure.
It is scary.
So
how are you guys? How's the view from up here, guys? Pretty good.
It's awesome. Look at it. It's
I know,
cool.
right?
We got the bird's eye view of the whole event. It's pretty cool.
And all the action's that way this year, isn't it normally the other way?
Yeah, it was. We always the town had us kind of rearrange things, but it's sort of for the better. It's nice for us, like the whole staff work and doing the production, because like the stairs are right there, so it's just easy to get back and forth, get across the street.
Yeah.
Equipment, getting back the equipment, because when we had the stage down that way, it was hard to get all the equipment. We had to go across the beach with it all, so it makes things a little bit easier for us. But yeah, I wanted to finish talking about just like it's interesting because most people normally, when you think of surf trip, it's just instantly we're thinking Mentawais and Bali and Central America and all the warm water spots. And you do the cold water trips more often than the average person would.
Yeah,
it's like, is there any reason behind it? You just like it, right? It's just different.
I like cold water. I like. It's fun, man. It's like I don't know.
We're all used to it. We're acclimated to it, so it's no big deal for us. We're already deal with the winter here. It's not that much colder, right?
I've never been somewhere where the water is colder than it is here. Than I've surfed here, in my whole life.
So you got to think, if we can deal with the winter here.
If it's, our water, I think the coldest I've ever seen here is like 34, 35,
right?
Right in there.
That's the coldest I can remember.
I've never seen it colder anywhere else. Doesn't matter where you go.
Right.
The water can only get it has to be 28 to freeze.
Right.
So it actually can't be that much colder.
It can't,
surf,
What about in Iceland?
They get the jet stream.
Oh, no different, right?
The Gulf Stream, I'm sorry. It all goes up there and kind of funnels around,
Did you do Russia too?
Yeah, I didn't surf.
Didn't Curran go there recently?
Yeah, They went to Kamchatka, which is like this island. And it's really kind of out there. I would love to go there. It looks really beautiful. That the photographer I went to Norway is actually there right now. He's been posting stuff on Surfer's website, and it's really, really
So
beautiful.
just for the most people don't, when you think Norway, people will probably go like, where does the waves, like where is it? Like what if you're in Norway, what would you be looking at on a swell model? Like if you were trying to predict waves.
What you're looking for is when we get our big cold fronts here, they go somewhere, they go across the ocean.
So when we see those blobs heading east towards Europe,
it's just like it's just like California and Hawaii. The waves come from west to east. The swells come from west to east and hit directly into it instead of the way we have it is it has something 9 times out of 10 has to go off the coast and sit off of us, and we're getting
opposite direction.
The back of it. We're never really getting the full brunt of a swell.
It's hard to compare.
And if we do, they usually evacuate the coast.
Yeah, pretty much.
It almost feels like it's funny you point that out, that most places their swells are going from west to east. There's only those few spots, like Central America's getting south swells.
Yeah.
Bali's getting like mostly south.
Australia, they get south.
And then like you get the Maldives and stuff is a little bit more, it's south too, but they get more of kind of like similar what our fetch is, and slightly, right?
Yeah, I think they get serious storms down there.
Yeah.
In the southern waters. It's just like anywhere in the winter. Hawaii gets the big swells in the winter, and our summer is, the southern hemisphere is winter. So.
For those of you just tuning in, this is the start of the men's longboard heat. We have Sam Hammer in the booth with us, local pro, local legend. If you're from Jersey, of course you know who Sam is. Guy rips.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, we live in a great state with great waves. What more could you ask for,
Yeah.
On the best day in Jersey, could you compare it to anywhere else in the world?
Yeah, I strongly believe that we have some of the best beach breaks in the world. Like any one of these jetties, you guys have all seen it on a good day. It pumps.
You get the tube of your life.
Yeah, you can. And if you were to go out west with these waves, they'd trip out. You know what I mean? They have no clue. They're obviously, realizing it more and more and more with videos and everything. And the internet made everything a heck of a lot easier. And but for a long time it was always knee high, because that's when everyone was out here. In the summer months, and that's not the good months.
It's pretty safe to say that the Dark Fall movie helped break that whole.
Yeah, Alex and guests Whistler, they did a phenomenal job with that. You know,
Yeah.
they took their time, you know, and that's
You had
they want to tell
a lot of waves in that.
Thank
a lot
you.
of really good waves.
It's funny, a lot of it, like 3/4 of the winter section was from like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. But it was really good too.
Yeah. You know what? That move, me and Colin were talking before, that's like, it's not only like one of my favorite surf movies I've ever seen, it's just a killer, like it was done so awesome. And in the end, like with Gessler doing his whole little speech thing at the end, when that movie ended, I never felt more proud to be a Jersey surfer in my life than what that movie makes me feel like.
You know, I mean, we've kind of ragged on forever, and we're getting ragged on again because of the Jersey Shore, you know?
I know, we just thought we escaped it, and then the Jersey Shore comes around.
But, yeah, it's you know, it really has opened a lot of eyes, and you know, we have good young surfers. I mean, Pat Schmidt, PJ Rea, Mikey Ciaramella, these guys are killing it. Yeah, and I consider, you know, I even consider Balaram like kind of like a local kid, you know, just because I grew up surfing with him forever, and he's, you know, killing it, and it's awesome, you know. Yeah, it's good to see it, and you know, of course. Yeah, Buckley, Tommy Inkin, and then of course you have like you know, a few of the older guys like Leeson's been on fire this year.
He recently got a couple of shots in surfing.
Yeah, he has I think he has a half page this month. And, you know,
he's one of my favorite guys from around here. When I think it's style wise, because that's like how powerful Mike surfs, and he charges barrels.
He also has a wetsuit guy.
Better than most.
The wetsuit guy, he had that shot, and then
he's really been coming into his own with, you know, surfing bigger waves, and you know, with Volcom in that team house, they just have such a good opportunity to go out there and catch waves. I mean, you know, it's hard to catch waves out there.
Mikey throws man hacks.
He gets angry after this.
Notorious for his beard as well.
Yeah. We call him Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear, right?
Yeah. Man Bear, so.
You think he's tuning in?
No.
No? Where's he at?
He's probably fishing.
Probably fishing.
Yeah, he's probably fishing. No, I'm just kidding. I talked to him about an hour ago. He's going surfing up in Long Beach.
Oh.
So, he's really not, he doesn't really compete too often.
Yeah, he's doing the free surfer tip, right?
Smart.
Aside from the pro guys, our pro guys do rip, and obviously to be a pro, you have to be a level above everyone else. We have a lot of unsung guys that just absolutely kill it, like Colin McNamara. Big shout out to C-Man, one of my favorites out there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Jersey's got a lot of unsung heroes, you know. Surfing, as long as I've been surfing, I got to see a lot of different scenes going on, and then I did my whole stint in ESA from like the late 80s through the early 2000s. When I was competing, it was like Sitta and Rob Kloop and Ed Pierce and all those guys.
Sitta still rips.
Still shreds. Still rips.
There's a lot of gear, and I'm just like, God, man, you surf exactly the same. It's impressive. Like, you know, he's a big dude too, and to watch him surf little waves, it's fun, you know. And he's always happy. Justin is always he just has a smile 24/7.
And he's got a man hack too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But he's been known for his airs though.
Yeah,
you know,
he was one of the first
guys
Jersey
around here.
Right,
Yeah,
one of the first Jersey guys that was really busting. To me, I was fortunate enough to grow up seeing Malta Meyer. You know, and I grew up surfing the whole like Long Branch stretch back then, and I grew up surfing the same breaks with Keith Noonan and all those guys. Malta was the first dude really busting real deal airs that I've ever seen in New Jersey, even before I saw Sitta busting. And Sitta's maybe similar age, but Malta was like the first. He was like our New Jersey's Christian Fletcher back then.
Gotcha. I never got a chance to see him surf.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed at an early age.
But I mean, you mentioned another one, Noonan. Man, they can if it's head high or overhead and a right, he's gonna. It's fun to watch. He's just like,
he's got one of the smoother, more consistent styles.
Yeah, he does.
So consistent and smooth.
Really surfing that longboard well.
That's Leon Gao from the Dominican Republic. All right, that's Rene Gao. My bad. His brother Leon's also in this contest. Just to give you guys a quick update. This is the longboard round of 24. We have Rene Gao from the Dominican Republic. We have Mikey DeTemple and JJ Egan. JJ Egan's a local boy. What about JJ? You know JJ well.
JJ, he surfs good. He's always been a guy, when I surf out there, I watch what he's doing, try to take a little bit of advice from him, because he could throw a nice tail slide, front side like nothing, you know? Then ESA guy always killed it on the ESA.
Yeah, Mikey's not here. Mikey's not here.
Oh, Mikey DeTemple's not here. Oh, okay.
I've been looking forward to seeing him.
Gotcha. Mikey DeTemple, I guess, didn't show up. I'm surprised that he would want to go against Tony Silvagni eventually in this event. Real quick, while there's a lull before you end up splitting, we're all from Jersey. You travel a lot. When you're like out somewhere else, do you get grilled with the whole Jersey Shore thing?
You know, I look at it in two different ways. I think, you know, I own a business. My parents own a business. I've worked at places in Seaside. You know, I don't think it's all bad. I don't. I think it's brought a lot of, you know, a lot of business, man. You know, there's a lot of tourism, and you know, us shore towns. That's what we thrive off of. That's how we make our money.
Some of these towns would be
6 degrees of separation. I mean, you know, like even contractors, and you know, it trickles down to everybody.
But be honest, when you're like somewhere else, if you're in California and I hear you're from Jersey, they're like, oh, the situation, and you know.
Yeah, I
you don't
mean,
get any ribbon for that?
You do, but yeah, you do.
But then
it is what it is. You can just kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Second somebody finds out I'm from Jersey, the first thing out of their mouth is, "Oh, Jersey Shore, the situation." I'm like, "Ah, no, you got it all wrong."
My sister's Snooki.
No, you know, I'll tell you what though. You got to realize the camera can make them look any which way they want.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, they you know, sign their souls away. You know?
Yeah.
I've actually, because I'll bartend here or there in a place called the Aztec in Seaside, and you know, they'd come in. Yeah, it's one of their places, and they'd come in on one night I'd work, like, and they weren't bad people. They were actually good to the bartenders, which was cool. You know, they weren't a pain in the ass to us, which is cool. You know, and if one of their friends was obnoxious, they'd just, you know, they'd ruin them, and it was, you know, then we'd just kick them out. It's good. Yeah. You know, it was fun. Like I said though, they weren't.
JJ, local boy on the nose. Sorry, Sam.
No worries. But yeah, they are. They did give us a bad rap.
But you know what? I would rather have it how it is. They come during the summer. The waves aren't good in the summer.
Yeah.
They come during the summer. It's packed. Everyone's gone for when it gets good. You know.
Yeah. You know, it's 2 months out of the year.
Maybe we can consider the Jersey Shore crew like crowd control. Like they're sort of keeping some people away.
Yeah.
Inadvertently.
For 2 months out of the year, I mean, you know, I grew up in Lavallette. It's, you know, there's a lot more people that live there now than there used to be, and growing up down there in the winter was, I mean, it was brutal. You'd see the same people every day. And that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. Some of the people are really nice, but it just gets repetitious. So that's.
Renee's up on a nice one.
Renee,
yeah, it's cool. We get, you know what we all love about Jersey is just the whole seasonal thing.
Yeah,
you know, it's, we look forward to different. Yeah. We look forward to the fall. Me, fall and spring are my favorite. Well, in the winter, fall and winter because of the waves, you know. And summer's almost like the opposite for me. Like I can't wait for summer to end. But some people, like your businesses thrive on it. You know, everybody's got a different season, which is kind of cool.
But when you have that, you kind of look forward to everything. You look forward to the summer for business.
And
then for waves.
I was ready for September 1st. I'll say that much. You know, I mean,
kids went back to school, but back to work.
It's good. And you have these days that are just beautiful.
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's beautiful.
My favorite time of the year right now.
Yeah, it is. There's been a ton of fish lately. I don't know if you guys.
I fished. It hasn't been.
I don't know. I've been surfing in Spring Lake and I've been seeing a bunch of falsies. So.
Really? They were jumping. I was out at Squaw Inlet the other day, and it just like everywhere, I saw one fall on the front of the guy's board, and he was just like, "Whoa!" swatting away. It wasn't the mullet; it was the false albacore. Yeah, they were like this big.
And then you know what there is now that I've never seen before this year is that the spot. Have you ever seen those?
Is it those little striped fish?
They're like this big, and they're silver, and they have a little spot on their tail.
Yeah.
I've never seen them before this year.
They swim in
schools. Is that they migrate from the south?
I guess it's because of the water being so warm, and you know our water is cleaner than it's ever been.
Striper, right?
I think there's been a few. I'm sure in that there's bunker. You know, there's all sorts of bait around.
You know what I saw one day? I was surfing. I was with a shout out to all my boys in LBI: Ryan Kelly, Joe Marzullo, Greg Luker, Mike Roth. Any of you guys are watching? What's up? I remember being out at Peckerheads on the north side of the inlet, one of them one time a couple years back, and what was it, triggerfish? Those little
triggers, yeah.
I was like, what the hell are you? Yeah. You know, like the last time I saw triggerfish, I was in Puerto Rico or something. I was like, what are they doing here?
JJ, on the nose.
Triple tail. Tilefish.
Tilefish? Is that what they're calling them?
I think so. I'm having a blank right now.
Yeah, I thought it was like triggerfish or something.
Yeah, but I mean, that, and we're also getting, I guess there's low pufferfish back again, too, which they were gone for years, you know, and now they're back, and we have all these rays, and
well, maybe the...
Last time I saw a pufferfish, I was probably 10 years old crabbing. You got one in the crab trap.
Yeah, they're actually again, which is awesome, you know.
Well, maybe the ecology is taking a turn for better instead of worse. Maybe things are just changing and not for the worse, just different.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. We need some northeasters, though. The sand down south is awful.
I've been hearing down that strip has been...
Renee strokes into this one.
Oh!
Hangs on the nose. Drops back down, trying to get around it, but it'll just kick out. Now, Sam mentioned before Spring Lake, and I just want to bring up, Sam does have a surf camp, Sam Hammer Surf Camp, right?
Yeah, Hammer Surf.
Why don't you give her a little
Hammer
plug
Surf
about
School,
that?
Yeah, if anyone's ever interested in learning how to surf or want to get better, you know, definitely check our website out, hammersurfschool.com.
Well, let me ask you, are you doing like just like kind of like the beginner thing, or do you do any sort of like an advanced tutoring thing too, from a pro perspective?
Well, the past couple of years I've been doing more of a beginner thing. I'm going to come out with, I'm looking at new ways to do the intermediate thing right, because I don't think that anyone's really doing it right yet, and I've seen some schools in California that are doing it pretty good. And,
On a coaching level?
Coaching level, yeah. And you know, some of my staff, they're really, really good surfers. One of the girls that was in here, Dot Bugby, she's one of my staff, and she's an amazing instructor. And then I have Tommy Inkin, who, you know,
great surfer.
Yeah, great surfer. So I have some guys that, you know, really, really surf and, you know, teach. And look, next year I'm going to be doing a lot more intermediate and more advanced stuff.
Have you done any type of one-on-one coaching with anybody yet? Or
A little bit, not too much. The stuff I've done, I worked with PJ Ray a few times a few years ago, and I wasn't ready to really sit down and start doing it. And you know, it was something that could have worked, and I just wasn't into it at the time. And you know, he found another guy to instruct him, and, which is really good. I mean, he got Ian Carnes, who's
that's
pretty priceless, and that's a lot better than
one of the best coaches there is.
So I mean, he did it right, and you know, but it's definitely something I'm looking into. I have some. I talk to Gerlach every once in a while, and
I was going to bring him up.
Last year he
JJ
bumping on this.
Nice.
Nice little hit.
I had about a half-hour conversation with him last year that absolutely just blew my mind.
Really?
So I wish I had it on record to remember all the good insight.
You know, when I think of like all the typical coaching thing going on, especially like when I think of the ASP stuff, where like, you know, Taj has Johnny Gannon, right, and Parco's got Luke Egan, right, and everybody's got like the coaches. I actually really like what Gerlach's doing with the Coffer brothers. He's got a different approach than some of the other coaching scenarios. He's teaching them how to like have fun with their surfing and not stress out before he.
You can definitely tell too.
They're relaxed.
Exactly.
They're relaxed.
Right.
They're surfing relaxed, and they're surfing damn good, man.
Parker killed the junior pro here last year. Did you see his?
Wait, is he here this year?
I don't know. I think
did
he's
kill it
entered.
last year.
I think he entered. I think I saw his name on the heat draw.
Good. I mean, those two are
Last year
sick.
he threw up one of the biggest backside floaters.
Did you get a chance to see him in the final?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
It was like overhead bowls doing that. It was like northeastern and Parker. There's a shot of Parker doing the sickest backside floater on this dumping overhead section.
And he stuck it.
And he it
was scored really well too.
It might have been like his team winner.
Yeah.
Good.
He became
some of the younger kids tomorrow.
He became the second person to get chaired up the beach at the Belmar Pro. The first person ever to get chaired up the beach at the Belmar Pro was Jessica Kuczynski.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she won the Hannah Women's Pro last year. She got chaired up the beach, and it was awesome, man, because all the locals were freaking. And
big shout out to Jess.
Yeah,
that might be
chill, man. Jesus.
Jessica's doing really good.
She can throw
You know, after Jessica won the ASP Junior Pro the Hannah Women's Pro last year, she ended up doing a whole string of contests in California and won a couple of them, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
Just like that. Won this and went on and competed in a bunch and ripped at all of them.
Carrying momentum.
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do.
Bruce Krisner just put her on body glove.
Smart. I mean,
Yup.
the girl rips. Yeah. They come down and surf the pier every once in a while, and it's good to see women.
They're well traveled too. They don't
Yeah.
surf one spot. Like I would say, this is probably their home rink. Whenever it's good out here, we always surf together out here. But they also surf many different spots in Jersey where maybe where there's going to be a contest soon. They get acclimated to that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you gotta experience different things when you're surfing and just try to ride different waves. It's all gonna teach you and just make you better.
That's what me and all the guys that I grew up with and like did the ESA with and stuff. I don't know if Mike Spitaletto or Judd Crosney or any of those guys are watching. Those are my boys I grew up surfing with. Maybe Jim Leone and stuff like that. Those are all the guys I grew up with. We never ever were like a one beach guy. Like we just drove all over the state. Like I know you do that too.
Yeah.
Wherever the waves are good, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Seen you checking the cove a couple times.
Yeah.
Up there.
Somebody asked me one time, they're like, so like, what's your break? And I was like, Monmouth County. And they were like, no, like, what's your
That's a
break?
good answer.
What local break are you at? I'm like, Monmouth County. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, wherever it's good, that's where I go. Like, it depends on the tides, the winds, the swell direction, which place is crowded. Like, they're all factors that make me, I'm not going to go to like where the most crowded, or I don't just go to the same beach every time. Wherever it's good, that's where I'm going to go, And
hey, I agree with you, man. It's, too many times people just go to the same place, but it's also your comfort level, It's what you're comfortable with.
There's some merit in that, too. Like,
there is.
Depending on,
there's not much localism anymore because you'd get sued if you did anything.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
No more wax on the cars.
Yeah, I heard that happened recently somewhere in Monmouth County.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Renee really hanging it up there on the nose. Comes out of that clean.
They just had a good paddle battle, those two. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Don't both of them make it out of the heat?
I don't know.
It might be the first place advancing. We'll have to find out after from the judges.
JJ sees something on the horizon. He's paddling. Stroking it.
There he goes. What's JJ got for us?
Regular foot, surfer on his backhand on the nose. Just comes out clean. Renee turning
right behind him.
Nice little bowl there.
Ooh.
Nice, really nice turn right there. Hangs it up for a little bit. Comes out clean.
Nice longboard turn right there.
It was, especially for how small the wave was.
Yeah. You ever get on a longboard, Sam?
Soft tops.
Yeah, me too.
When it's half a foot?
Yeah. It was funny though. We just did, I did a Bud Light Lime contest.
In Outer Banks?
Yeah.
In
Outer Banks. I was, for not surfing this summer.
I think I saw you in the highlight reel. I was watching that.
I got top 10, which I was happy
Sweet.
with. But the first round was all on PZs.
Really?
Soft tops, yeah. It was
On
so
purpose?
funny. The waves were so small, and they were like, all right, go out.
They let you ride whatever you wanted?
Yeah, and everyone rode the softies. It was pretty funny.
If you get on a good 6-foot softie, you can really do
you can turn them, but you got to get the right ones.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are just too flexy.
Yeah.
It's like anything, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. The more you pay, the better it'll be.
So, how's that old board? A 4-channel OP.
Walking down the beach.
That's a good
Wow,
board.
look at that. I used to have a board just like that. Swallowtail, full channel bottom.
The channels don't run all the way through though.
You guys, we're gonna do commercials.
Okay. We're going to take you to commercial, and we'll be back after we give some sponsor love.
someone that makes me feel seasick.